Good morning. It's the 7th of April, the day before WrestleMania. Welcome to the Breakfast at WrestleMania 34. I'm your host, TakersMinion. My co-host had a slight emergency. He may be late coming, but he may be late coming in, or he may not come in at all. I'm joined this morning by a learned panel of wrestling fans. Making his debut this morning is Craig with 5 zeros. Good. I guess it's afternoon for you, sir.
It is indeed. Good afternoon.
Morning.
And we're on another one. And how are things over there you're in Ireland, correct?
Nah, England for me.
Oh, England. How are you? How are things over there?
Yeah, pretty damn good. It stopped raining, which is nice.
Yeah, I know it rains there a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just sort of dreary and miserable most of the time. But we don't get the extremes of weather that you guys get.
Yeah, it's like 18 degrees Fahrenheit here this morning. For April, for this part of April, the first week in April, it is cold. Mm-hmm. Also joining us on the panel this morning, another one making his debut on this show, and maybe in podcasting in general, is StalwartJester. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Thank you for coming. I'm glad, and you're an East Coast guy, correct?
Correct. North Carolina.
Another North Carolinian. I had one on last week. You may know of him. One Biff Kensington.
Yes. Talked to him before. We're probably a lot closer than we think to each other.
He's a knowledgeable person, boy. Oof. Making his second appearance on this show is Mr. Thomas S.K. Greene.
Hey.
Hey. Mm-hmm. And you doing well?
Not bad for the most part.
Is it snowing by you?
It is actually just gray and dreary, but it's not totally snowing, which was the weakness that most of the snow happened yesterday. So I could have called out for this.
And you're not calling out, so you're heading in.
No.
Okay, so we'll try to get this show done quick.
Mm-hmm.
We got a little under 4 hours. We should be done.
Yeah.
And returning once again, I believe she was at the Royal Rumble breakfast show, if I'm not mistaken, is Tonya Rodgers. Good morning, Tonya.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody?
I'm well. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah. Listen, tomorrow I'm about to see Roman Reigns become Universal Champion and finally beat Brock Lesnar, so I'm doing pretty swell. Yeah.
At least someone's trying to go to Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
I don't know if you know, Tonya, what I call him. I like me some Roman Reigns. This is known. But Brock, B-L-O-C-K, Resnar, R-E-S-N-A-R, that's what I call him, Brock Lesnar. That boy needs to go.
Nah. Hey. Goodbye. I cannot wait. It's been 3 years. I'm so excited.
It's been 3 years he's been holding the title hostage.
He's been holding the entire WWE hostage.
Yep. And we've been forced because of this. We have been forced to digest the Miz.
Oh, you can't completely hate on the Miz.
Let's not take shots at the Miz. Come on, new father.
Yeah, JJ took one hell of a shot at him last night.
Yeah,
and John Cena for that matter. Tell it, John. He's got that is gold. Tell it, JJ. JJ Robertson is a 15-year-old kid who's had 2 liver transplants in his life. And told John Cena in no uncertain terms last night, I have a better shot of having a match at WrestleMania than you do. And I was just sitting there going, you go, boy. You go. Anyway, we're here to talk about WrestleMania 34. The show of shows, the showcase of immortals, whatever you want to call it. It is a loaded card. It's got something for everybody. I have been saying that for the last 3 weeks.
Yep.
You know, I look at the lineup, and there's 13 matches overall, including the pre-show and main show. And every one of them is a good match.
Mhm.
There are some that I'm questioning, but overall, it's a solid card, top to bottom.
It really is.
You know, anyone who says otherwise needs to have their head examined. And I'm sure there are members of this panel who would agree with me.
Yeah. Well, that's really the problem.
On paper, it's one of the best ever.
Yeah. I mean, in the last, Tonya, would you say in the last maybe 10 years, this is the best WrestleMania card they've put out?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a long. Like I've been binge watching like the past like WrestleMania. I think I started at 14, and I watched all of them until 30. I've got to do all the rest up until tomorrow. But like most of those cards, if you go back and look, are so thrown together, and a lot of these matches were thought out months in advance. It's a very complete card if you just sit back and think about it.
Well, and also let's look at it this way. Let's take out the SmackDown tag match, the women's matches, the Cruiserweight, and the Rumble. If you take those, what was that, 5 matches off the card, every other match on the card has at least one former world champion in it.
Mm-hmm. And it depends on whether you count the women's titles as world titles for those matches to boot. So
right, and if you do, then I mean, obviously it is the women's world titles, but if you do, then every match except for the SmackDown tag and the Battle Royals and the Cruiserweight, because obviously those guys haven't made it that far yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the Cruiserweights is on the pre-show, so
yeah,
which is it's a shame to see that, but
and you could even
make an argument.
Andre.
You could make an argument that Cruiserweights deserve to be on the main card because it is a title match,
and the build for that match has been great. Yeah,
what's gotten into everybody? They're actually building solid matches with stakes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The Block and Roman has been a year in the build.
Yeah.
A year.
3.
Well, 3, technically 3, but it was basically announced the day after last year's WrestleMania that was going to be the match.
Yeah, pretty much. Wow. He beat The Undertaker, and Paul Heyman and Brock called Roman Reigns out.
Yep. The next
even before last year's Mania, they were saying that Brock was going to beat Goldberg so that Roman could beat him next year.
Yeah, that was the rumor anyway.
Yeah, that's what Paul Heyman said at the Hall of Fame last night. Basically.
Why do I get the feeling Heyman's going to swerve Block at the damn event?
I hope not. I hope he just sits there and cries or has a shocked look on his face. Heyman swallows most of the people he works with. That's what people don't understand. And it was nice to say, let's put Roman with somebody who can talk when he couldn't. This is not 2015 anymore. Like people say, he carried the feud himself with promos.
Yes, he did. And I have to give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
Tonya, you will agree with me on this. It was that feud he had with John Cena. Cena helped Roman open up and be more himself and more ad-lib.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing that side of Roman, it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
The thing is, they were trying to make Roman this like pitch perfect talker, and he's not. But when they finally let the Usos loose and they let them change their persona.
Oh God.
I think Roman has that same personality, like that same grit.
Yes.
Mhm.
And the
That's what-
Usos are rougher than Roman
Yeah.
on the microphone.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying back in 2015 or was it 2016 when the brand split happened. Put Roman with the Usos, Nia and Tamina, and call it the Samoan Mafia.
Yeah.
That would have been one hell of a faction.
Honestly,
See, I don't think Nia fits.
Not right now,
I
no.
don't.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't.
the problem with Nia is that most of the Usos and Roman seem like they're rougher edged for it, where they work on this one. But Nia, she
Yeah.
just seems like too nice a person to really be
Yes.
that rough edged.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nia being the face is great right
Yes.
now. Nia as a face is working so well. I just hope they don't screw it up.
Yeah,
And
well,
I
the
know
only
some
way
people.
if
Sorry.
Alexa wins the match. If Nia wins the match, they did it perfectly.
Okay, my biggest worry is this. Nia's going to win, but not get the strap. That's my biggest fear.
Like a count out or something.
Count out, disqualification because Mickey James gets involved. Something. Gives Nia the shallow victory, but not the title.
I don't see that happening. I don't think at this point Bliss can handle that belt anymore.
Bliss couldn't handle the belt 3 months after she got the damn thing.
Bliss has handled
She's
the
good
belt
with
well.
promos.
Exactly. But
That's it.
there's
all
no
she's good.
reason, even with Mickey James, who is a squash for Nia anyway, that there's no reason that Nia shouldn't win the belt. My fear is that this match is going to go. Do we know the match order yet?
No.
So my fear is that this match is going to go on sometime after Charlotte Asuka, and we're not going to have a Carmella cash in then, but a Carmella cash in after Nia wins the belt.
I don't know why people keep thinking Carmella is going to cash in on Raw. And she's going to be unsuccessful. They never wanted her to. That briefcase was James Ellsworth push in the women's division, and it backfired. That briefcase is a problem for them. And the only thing Carmella is going to do is fail.
All right. Let's get
They're not giving her a title. I'm sorry.
No, she's not ready. Her in-ring skills, because and I think the whole panel will agree. The wrestler makes the title does not make the wrestler.
Correct.
Yes. But that's really
and the thing about it is that that's what they would want the title to do for Carmella is make the wrestler, and it won't work.
Yeah. But in defense on this one, Carmella's the best example of someone who has complete knowledge and just gets wrestling, but has no talent whatsoever.
Well, her father was a carpenter for Vince for a lot of years.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know what a carpenter is, enhancement talent.
Mm-hmm.
So she knows the business part. She can talk good. Her in-ring is what's lacking.
She's afraid. She's afraid of getting hit. That's the problem. She's afraid of contact.
And if they try to have her cash in on Asuka, Asuka will kill her.
Yeah.
Asuka gonna kill you. Asuka, you're gonna hear it.
I think that's what's gonna happen. She's gonna cash in and she's gonna get killed.
The only way I saw if they wanted to have a successful cash in on the SmackDown title would be for her to run in during the Charlotte Asuka match and attack Asuka before she handed in the contract, meaning she would DQ Charlotte, giving Asuka the win, but then cash in on Charlotte.
But even then, wouldn't Asuka just kill Carmella and cost her the match there?
That's what I think would probably happen, but I think if they wanted, for whatever reason, if they wanted to put that belt on Carmella, I think the only way to do that would be to have her DQ Charlotte and then cash in on Charlotte.
That's interesting. Okay, let's talk about the pre-show. Don't know what order they're going to have these in, so why don't we go with the Cruiserweight Championship title match of Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali. We touched on it briefly that this is a final for the vacant WWE Cruiserweight Champion because of the individual that I do not wish to rename on this show. His name is blacklisted. Was fired, thus vacating the title. Do they have the two right people in there? Yes, they do. Has 205 Live turned the corner? I believe so. Mm-hmm. They have gotten suddenly very, very good because I stopped watching it because it was like, why are they restricting these guys so much? Why are they shoving this individual down my throat who is nothing but a cancer and a pain in the ass in the locker room? And then he was suspended and subsequently fired. And Drake Maverick, aka Rockstar Spud,
who's been amazing.
Came along as a general manager, and he's been absolutely brilliant. They've been absolutely brilliant. It's like, okay, who the hell is writing this gold? Who's writing it?
I don't know. Personally, I've been a little down on 205 Live since the Drake Maverick era started because I value the fun factor of pro wrestling more than the work rate era. And all I've seen from Drake Maverick before is that he took all the fun gimmicks that they had and the fun kernels of it and said, "Hey, you're a good wrestler. You should stop caring about this." Okay, fam. I am Drew Gulak. I am a good wrestler out here to perform a good wrestling match with a man I deeply respect.
Oh, you say you try to say he's turning them to robots.
Yeah. Not just robots, just the same random good wrestler wrestling good.
We still have the dynamic. Go ahead.
They have decided to turn the cruiserweights into the work rate division. Yeah. That's why they did that.
Well, the thing about it is that look at your luchadors, for instance. Okay, the lighter the person, the more work rate they have.
Yeah,
they're taking a page out. They're taking a page out of CMLL, AAA, and all the other lucha companies in Mexico, and putting it into practice here in the WWE.
Yeah. Well, that's always been the thing with cruiserweights, but at the same time, I just think that what they did to Drew Gulak was disgusting. He was getting over in the 205. Heck, he was getting over on Raw, and they completely threw it away.
No, I mean, he had a PowerPoint presentation this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I didn't think the no-fly zone stuff was working because it was a joke, because we all know 205, the cruiserweights are high flyers. Most of them are.
And that's why it worked.
I didn't particularly care for it. I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
I thought that whole no-fly zone stuff was a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I like to see with cruiserweights. I want to see them fly around the ring.
Yeah.
I want to see them on the top rope.
At the same time, I agree. I want to see him fly in the ring. I want to see him in this one. But which cruiserweights are we still waxing poetic about from the 1990s? We're waxing poetic about Eddie Guerrero. We're waxing poetic about Chris Jericho. The guys who weren't just, I'm a good wrestler here to wrestle good, but also had a character, had a gimmick that worked on this one, were more than just the work rate.
Yeah.
But they did that. Most of the stuff you're talking about, they did that outside of the cruiserweight division.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and back then,
the thing about changing 205 Live is that the results are there. People were not watching it before. The views have gone up. They are second to NXT on the network now. They are appealing to a smaller audience, but an audience that will watch it. Most people who like characters and all that, they are not watching 205 Live. They're watching Raw and SmackDown. So if you want your characters, you watch Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. And if you want your work rate, flippity dippity, It's on 205 Live. They've
Well, and
kind
I
of
still
modeled
think-
it after the classic.
Right.
A little bit.
And if you look at the cruiserweight division and the light heavyweight division for that matter, because they were both considered the same. One had one had the other. You know, talking WCW, WWE. That weight limit was 235.
Yeah.
You know, there's some wrestlers on the main roster at 235 that would get over like crazy on in the cruiserweight division, but they're technically too heavy. And we know that Roderick Strong is down there now.
Yeah.
And that's an asset. You know, they're actually, if you look at WWE is actually caring about the division all of a sudden. They're putting bigger names on that show.
But that's the problem with giving those bigger names, because honestly, they give the names, they give all these things, they've made the show something to watch, and yet you ask any fan virtually, and they'll say, I am terrified of them putting Johnny Gargano on that show. It's going to ruin him. He'll be destroyed on it right there.
They're not going to put Johnny Gargano on that show. Triple H is the head of talent. They're not putting Johnny Gargano on 205 Live.
No.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Johnny Gargano.
Whoever thinks that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I agree.
It is.
Johnny Gargano is too
Finn
good.
Balor is not on 205 Live.
Yeah.
No, and Finn Balor is doing well on the main roster finally. And this is a whole argument. And Thomas, we've seen this argument in the threads that I get into with the Becky people and the iconic people, but more so the Becky people, as you call stans. Becky was given the title on SmackDown, the first women's title. Immediately after that, she got injured and she was sick. And she had to lose. She lost the title to Alexa and has been booked terrible ever since. It's a confidence thing with creative and with Vince. The same thing, if you look at it, Finn Balor was destined to be the first Universal Champion and have a decent run with it. In the match with Seth Rollins, he got injured. And it took him almost a year to come back. They're going to lose confidence. Everybody said, oh, now he's being buried. Now he's being buried. Look at him now. He's vying for a title.
Yep.
Granted, it ain't the title that everybody wants, but, you know, you have to be willing. You have to be willing to. What's that, Tanya?
He's the favorite to win the match.
Yeah. And Becky's a favorite, but she's finally, it's like she's starting to turn the corner.
Yeah, because really with Becky, it was just the fact that you have three good faces on SmackDown. Naomi's a great face. Charlotte's a great face, a top star, at least, even if she's not as good a face. Becky Lynch is a good face. But there's only one title. You can't have them all share it.
I don't know. They shared it on Raw between Flair and Banks.
No, I mean just...
Oh, no, that wasn't sharing. That was hot potatoing. And then,
yeah.
Tanya, you saw me. I used to bitch. God, did I bitch. I hated it. I hate when they do shit like that.
I don't think anybody really appreciated the hot potatoing. So.
No.
So, but yeah, picks on the Cruiserweight title. Who wins, guys? Tanya, you go first.
Mustafa Ali. I think it's his time. I really like his promos. So that's who I think. It could be either one, but that's who I think who I give the edge to.
Okay. Craig.
Well, I haven't watched a Cruiserweight match since Neville dropped the title. So I don't know. I mean, it just feels like Cedric was supposed to win it a long time ago. So him, I suppose.
Okay, well, not so much Cedric. Who was the other one that was let go, Tanya? For the and has since retired. I have his. I can see his face. I can see his mugshot. Because I thought he was supposed
the Can You Handle This
Rich Swann
guy.
Rich Swann.
Rich Swann, yes.
Yes, Rich Swann.
Yeah, he had it. He actually had it, remember? And
he was going to have a match with Neville and get the title. That was the whole deal. Or no, with that shall not be named.
Yeah.
And both of them got busted basically for the same shit.
It seemed like Cedric at some point was on the bubble and then he got injured. I think that was what happened with him.
That goes back to what was I talking about earlier? The loss of confidence by creative. Can he hold up to carrying the strap? That has been the key for everybody because we all know that the wrestler has to make the title. Prime example, our most favorite, my most favorite, I say that with tongues deeply in cheek, The Miz. He's made that IC title very, very important because that's all Raw has had for the last 2.5, 3 years.
No, not even that. Like he's only been on Raw with the title for the last year. He was on SmackDown before that.
Year and a half. Excuse me. So, but
it's been a year because he went over after Mania 33 because he had the match with John Cena at Mania. So he was on SmackDown before that.
Right. When he cut the explosion program all over Daniel Bryan. Which I still to this day don't know if that was a work or a shoot.
A bit of both.
I think it was a bit of both. Because there's a couple times where you can see Bryan's reaction is just like, did he really just say that?
Yeah. It was a work shoot. All right. The next one, the former Women's Battle Royal. Yeah, I kind of mumbled that because I was one of the people that was against the original name of the Women's Battle Royal. Oh wait, I didn't get everybody. I forgot. It's Stalwart. Who you think's taking the?
I agree with Tonya. I think it's going to be. I think it needs to be Ali. His shoot promos that he did, where he was looking like he was in that back lot, just him in the darkness, and the way he came across of you're my friend, but that title's more important, and he sold that match for me in those promos.
Yeah, and Thomas.
I hope it's going to be Ali for the same reasons that I don't like 205 Live on it, because Mustafa Ali has the right gimmick to be the face of this one in a gimmickless show. And really, you can go with this. People have been waxing poetic about the Muhammad Hassan vignettes and saying he should have been a face, for 15 years now. And Mustafa Ali is Muhammad Hassan if he was a face.
Yep. And and I'll say the same thing, Mustafa Ali, and the reason I say it is this. Family. Remember, Ali had his daughter with him at a match that he won, the semifinal match. Brought her into the ring with him. If that don't pull at your feels, I don't know what does. Anytime you bring family into something, it connects with me. So there's that. Now we can move on to the Women's Battle Royal that was formerly named like I said,
it was named after the Unfabulous Chump Change. That's who it was named after.
I call her the Unfabulous Pimp.
She was that too.
Yeah. The stories on that woman are scary.
Yes, they are.
I mean, it makes he who must not be named look like a goddamn angel.
Or amateur. Like she could have taught him exactly how to abuse women.
And get away with it.
and be lionized as a hero or in a trend. The reason why women's wrestling was so bad for so long is because she was a terrible wrestler, but she was the standard bearer. So I guess she's terrible. We all got to be terrible too.
But I'll tell you what,
she's the one that gave women's wrestling that stigma. And I just want to say I forgot the woman's name, but it was a women's wrestler that went into the Hall of Fame.
Mae Young.
That was in that era last night. I forget her name. They highlighted her in
the
Cora
legacy
something.
part. Cora something.
Yes.
Yes.
Now that was a badass.
Yes, she was.
More of that, WWE. There are a lot of good women that they don't talk about from Moolah's era, and they would have been bigger if not for Moolah.
Exactly. Well, something that came up on last week's show, for those of you that listened, I don't know if you listened, Tonya. We brought up the Bomb Angels last week, the Jumping Bomb Angels, okay?
The sabotage she did.
Yeah, not only the sabotage she did, you look at some of the moves that the current women's roster are doing. The Bomb Angels were doing it in the 80s.
Yep.
Yeah. Of course.
The bridge out that Becky uses when she comes out from underneath someone. The Bomb Angels were doing that in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
That was a tag team that I believe for women should be the standard bearer of all women's tag teams if they have this tag team division that they're talking about. Because I've done
we would have had so much more, so much sooner. It's ridiculous.
Moolah was the driving force behind the Divas.
Yeah, but
she wanted to be the queen, 28-year reign of champion, blah, 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 blah. She didn't want anybody to touch her. She wanted to bury everybody around her, I mean, hell, she even buried Mae Young, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, but even with those ones, you can't really say it was just the fact that Moolah did it for those ones, because the Bomb Angels were great on this one. Look at the era when Alundra Blaze was at the top on that one. They had the same Joshi stars that she did, for that matter, on this one. And Alundra Blaze demanded that Vince McMahon hire a bunch of Joshi stars to work with her because she wanted the work rate to do it. And it didn't work because you need other things to matter besides just the people there.
Right. All right, getting on to the women's battle royal. Current entrants that I see, they haven't updated this list. This list is as of the 5th of April. It's Sasha, Becky, Liv Morgan, Naomi, Natalya, Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, Bayley, Lana, who says she has a secret weapon, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Mickie James, Mella, and Dana Brooke.
Lana says she has a secret weapon?
She has some secret strategy to win it all.
So how soon is
and with that I'm saying she's going to be the first one eliminated.
No, that's going to be Mandy Rose.
Hell, for all we know, it could be Bayley eliminating Sasha first.
I think that's what should happen.
That would really stir up the pot between those two.
In fact,
I think she's going to eliminate her to win it, actually.
Yeah.
See,
right
for
now,
me, I don't think it matters who wins. I just think it shouldn't be Bayley or Sasha. Having either one of them win doesn't advance the story properly.
I do agree.
I actually think they should eliminate each other somehow.
I think they should eliminate each other right at the start of the match, and then midway through, I want it to cut to backstage of them still brawling. That's what I want to see.
Well, yeah, I want to see something similar to what happened at WrestleMania 2. Okay, when they had the wrestlers and football players battle royal. Now I'm dating myself because I actually saw this on VHS when it was released. William the Refrigerator Perry, who's that was his nickname in public. On the Bears, he was known as Biscuit. Got eliminated by Big John Studd. Okay. He stuck his hand out to Big John Studd right after it happened, congratulated him, and then pulled John Studd out of the ring. I want to see that kind of elimination. I want to see Bayley eliminate Sasha Sasha extend her hand to shake her like, you got me, you got me. And Bailey, you know, being as dense as her character is at times, puts her hands out and Sasha pulls her over the top rope.
I don't know. She ain't been dense lately. I don't know about that.
But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but Bailey, that's like why they having this beef, because Bailey stopped being dense about Sasha. She was like, you keep stabbing me in the back, so I'm good on you right now. I can't wait till they actually have their one-on-one match, though. So
I hope it's SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I want them to drag it out. I really do. I agree. SummerSlam.
This is something that needs to be a slow burn story with those two. That is, you know, it's been going on. Jesus, if you think about it, the last 8 months.
Yeah,
because they're teasing Sasha turning, then they're teasing Bailey turning, then they're okay for a while. Then the teasing of the turning starts again. And
so I could understand where they
and each time it gets a little stronger, one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's saying Sasha needs a turn. Sasha needs a turn. No, Sasha is so over as a face right now. Leave her alone. The one who needs the help is Bailey. I've said this, and I'll continue to say it. Bailey is buried so far down she can't see the bottom of it. And I don't think there's anybody here that won't disagree with me on that.
I would disagree a little bit because of the fact that, like I said, you've got to also remember that if Sasha turns, and right now, assuming that depending on what show they are, having a case where, like you said with Becky Lynch and Finn Balor, it's a confidence thing. Bailey's confidence has been completely shot, and right now, if they say, okay, we just turned Sasha, we sent Asuka to SmackDown, you have the conch shell right now. This, if you have anything, we'll know. If you don't, we'll also know. And
but that's why I say, you know, give Bailey, let Bailey be the heel.
Mm-hmm.
I have looked at Pamela Martinez's independent stuff. Okay, and it's out there.
Yeah,
she is brilliant as a heel. Brilliant. This 5 years, 6 years, it's almost 7 years now of this goody, love the kids, you know, smiley rainbows, giant inflatable men gimmick has run its course. It's stale.
I'm sorry.
It's stale and it's old.
I don't want her to turn. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, her gimmick is stale to an older audience, but you still see little girls dressed up as Bailey in every crowd
and idolize her. Listen, I think she was. I think she was buried before this. I think this is helping her. I think she's just as over as Sasha in these segments. There's a portion of the crowd, they've been seeing Sasha do this to her, and Bailey's sticking up for herself, and they're like, yeah, Bailey, right on. Tell her. Like, when Sasha grabbed Bailey by the face and Bailey just jumps her, like, the crowd was for that. They were ready to see Bailey. Like, this is the girl. I'm not here to hurt anyone. And now seeing her say, yeah, I might have to take it there and keep and remain a face, I think that's more interesting than just turning her heel.
Maybe.
Well, and I think at this point, like, yes, Sasha is over as a face, but her gimmick of the boss does not work as a face.
She's a heel.
Yeah.
She's miserable. She's just now happy because she's getting to do heelish things. She's a heel.
Right.
Maybe so.
Yeah, the way she snatched Bailey's head in that backstage brawl when she went to walk away, she just
Okay, I can see you guys' point, but I am just, you know, isn't it obvious that they turned Sasha heel again? I mean, at this point, Sasha has had as many heel turns as Big Show.
No, where?
Sasha's been a face her entire main run.
Her entire run.
Most of it. Run.
Sasha fans have been her to turn heel on the main roster. We need this.
Except when she was feuding with Charlotte, she was the face.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
she was a heel when she first came up with that whole Divas
Yeah,
Revolution nonsense, but as soon as that
I
ended,
guess they
she's been a
tried-
face ever since.
Yeah.
They tried to make her a heel with Team. She was still.
And I'm
That wasn't Sasha when she first got caught. I don't know who that lady was. Sasha debuted at the Rumble. She debuted at the Rumble and snatched Charlotte's wig. That's what the Banks Coalition has agreed upon. It's been decided.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about the Banks Coalition, Tanya. I guess you're the president.
Yes.
You're the El Presidente.
No. I just sent word. I'm not nearly as big of a Sasha stan. There is out there. Trust me.
Oh yeah, there's some. Yeah, yep. I know a few.
But-
I know a few in the Sasha stands too. And I'm just looking for a battle royal. I don't know how many people. They've never gave us a number. How many women are going to be involved? God, if they have
bring some old.
Oh yeah,
ones
how
back.
many
You
of the
know they
legends?
are.
Who do
Well,
you think's gonna?
I
Who here thinks Ivory's going to compete?
I think
hope so. Oh God.
I
And
still
Ivory, Jacqueline.
Oh, I hope we don't see Jacqueline again. She did not look well in the Rumble.
Her body shot.
Yeah.
She shot.
Okay,
Lita shot.
Trish will be back. I'm almost sure Trish will be back.
Honestly, I don't think it's going to be as legend filled on this one. I think
There's going to be one or two. I think.
Yeah, I think those 1 and 2 are Ivory and Molly for that one because they were at this Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think that what they're going to do is they said, okay, we gave the legends the Royal Rumble, so this is going to be the NXT and the Mae Young Classic girls. You're the filler for the women's battle royal.
We're going to see Queen of the Hair.
Yeah. I think we see pretty much as many NXT and Mae Young Classic entrants as we can from that one. So
I agree.
Yep.
Interesting. But I'm not going to ask for anybody to put a prediction on who wins because battle royals are just that. They're clusters. They're clusters.
Well, like I said, with the storyline, I think either Sasha or Bayley's winning. There's no way around it because of this storyline.
Well, that's why I like the possibility of a heel turn with Bayley. It's something that had in Thomas and Craig and Jester, for that matter, all have seen the conversations I've had with one person in the threads that we talk about that the Monday afterwards, Bayley's out there talking about, winning the battle royal, and then Sasha comes out and starts her shit. The trophy's there. Bayley picks it up, smashes it over Sasha's head, and then cuts a promo on Sasha.
Yeah, but that's the thing right now. With how their heel turn's gone through right now, it's not going to be someone turns on Sasha and their heel, or someone turns on Bayley and their heel. The first one who goes after the fans is the heel. And I don't see, and both of them have a good excuse to go after the fans. Sasha has her, you keep stalking me at airports on this one. Bayley has the, you turned on me when I said I was injured thing, but I still don't know which one of them turns on the fans.
We are now joined by my co-host, Mister Doctor Senju. Good evening. How is your friend doing?
Long story short, I had an emergency. My friend just got into an accident, so that's why I was late for about an hour. He's fine. He's doing fine now. He's already prepped in to go to a little bit of an operation and a surgery, but he's fine.
That's good. Was it a motorcycle accident?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's why I asked, I said I had 3 of them. I walked away from all of them. I
had one. I had one. But anyway,
we've already talked about the cruiserweight match and the women's battle royal. Now that someone that's here that's got notes and everything.
wait, before you start off with me getting notes, okay, who's here? Thomas, you're there.
Thomas,
Tanya, you're there.
Tonya, Stalwart Jester's here, and Craig.
Oh,
Hello, hello.
oh. Two guys who made two guys who made their first appearance on a podcast. Good day to you, sirs.
Thank
Hello.
Just no.
It's just a shame we couldn't have Duke today. We were supposed to, but his changing his work schedule didn't allow it.
It's okay. I mean, somehow you rolled in with two guys who just made their podcast appearance on a.
Oh hell, I had those. I had Craig and I had Jess. What, 2.5, 3 weeks ago?
Mhm. Before they had to cut it off. So before Monroe had to cut it off. But hey, okay.
Yeah. And
Okay,
it kind of counts the same one because you weren't here on my first podcast appearance.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, okay. Hi, Mr. Thomas Greene.
Hey,
Finally, we meet.
yep.
Yeah. Speaking of the first podcast, I'm going to ask Tonya.
Sure.
Tonya,
Is she there?
Yeah. Yes, I'm here.
Have you listened to the Black Legends podcast that I did with Thomas and I did with Duke?
I did not. When did you do that?
The end of February. And it wasn't
End of February.
it wasn't because it was Black History Month or anything like that. It was just something that I wanted to do. You know, we talk about Ernie Ladd, we talk about Sailor Art Thomas, we talk about Bobo Brazil, we talk about Sylvester Ritter, we talk about some legends, girl.
Yep.
All right.
You know. And
Did
speaking
you
of
talk about my mother's favorite, the junkyard dog?
Sylvester Ritter is the junkyard dog.
Sylvester Ritter is a junkyard dog.
Oh, I didn't hear that one. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
You gotta go and catch it. I think you gotta go and have a listen. Anyway,
Okay.
People have,
first question.
people have said that have listened to it are like, and it's three white dudes talking about these wrestlers. So it, you know, and that's the funny part. I was so worried, Tonya. I was so
No,
worried.
it's fine. It's as long as you you're respectful and you're appreciating. There's nothing wrong with. It's nothing wrong with appreciating, you know, and speaking about it. You know, some people get caught up in that crap, but
No, I was.
entertainment is universal. It's a language everybody can understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wanted it done tastefully and respectfully. That was my main goal. I and Thomas will verify that I beat that drum for days.
Yeah.
Once I decided to do it, is I want it to be respectful above all else. And I mean, when I talk about the big cat Ernie Ladd, I hold him in high reverence. And I saw him as a heel in Chicago. I despise that man, but I always respected his skills and his. You look at Mark Henry last night. He tells it.
That's
Ernie
one
Ladd,
of the guys
Ernie Ladd says, "Come sit under the learning tree and come sit under Ernie Ladd's learning tree." And I could hear him. I could hear him saying that. I could hear that man saying it. And that statement that Ernie Ladd gave Mark Henry was poignant.
Interesting. Okay, but anyway,
Before
I digress on the whole thing, first question, as always, and this is always a joke on my end: is anyone surprised that I speak perfect English?
Not really. No.
No, not really.
Yeah.
because he lives in he is a citizen of Japan.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a lot of people expect him. Oh, hello.
No, it's more like, oh, hello. How are you this evening? Mister Doctor Senju. How are you?
Think of Shinsuke in his English.
I think
Actually, has anyone else here watched WWE Chronicle?
His English is actually very good.
Yeah, his English,
like shockingly good.
Yeah.
he is.
Or the way they
I think the general consensus is that Japanese aren't that good in English, but I digress. I can point you to a number of Japanese friends who I know. They speak perfect English. I mean, I'm just, whoa, okay. You do still have the slang. You do still have the accent down, but wow, you speak they have heavily Japanese accents, but they still speak perfect English. Like they drag the R's, like, you do know that sometimes, something like that.
Yeah, but that's just having an accent on those.
Yeah.
And I know overseas it's very important to learn English, so it's not that surprising for people to speak perfect English. So
I've dealt with people from the Orient, and the ones that are the worst at English, believe it or not, Koreans.
Yeah.
Which is funny because that's where I was teaching people English. So that must mean I'm a really bad teacher.
No, here's the thing, and I don't know if people know this. This is something I learned long time. I discovered long time ago. Korean Airlines.
Korean Airlines, okay.
Their pilots, the Korean pilots, are not allowed to fly south of Anchorage, south of Anchorage, Alaska, United States.
Okay.
They fly in there. They put American crews on those planes that work for Korean Air to fly the rest of the way in the United States. And then they fly back to Anchorage, and then they take the plane back because their English is so bad.
I see. Well, I think it's not that bad, but hey, if you wish to learn English as a second language, or even if your English is a first language, do well with it.
I try.
At least in the general consensus, English is the universally spoken language around. So that's one thing. But anyway,
we can get into what type of English, because we have someone from England, so he could say, "No, Queen's English is better."
His English is the proper English. It's the proper speaking English.
All right,
speaking our language.
All right.
Okay, let's not beat it. Okay, where were we? I think you guys are at the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royale. Am I correct, or am I not correct?
Yeah, we were talking about the different things that we see happening.
Do you guys know how many matches that we have, including the pre-show?
13.
13 officially.
Awesome.
And 14 if we get Taker.
14 if we get Taker Cena, right. Well, we got 13 right now. I've got a list in front of me. Thank you, Wikipedia.
Thank you, Wikipedia. Sure. Are we done with the Battle Royale, or should are we still beating the whole? Okay, so let's move on.
Move on to the Andre.
Okay. Who's looking forward to it?
Well, I'm looking forward to it because we're getting the odd year versus even year thing. So if this is the 5th one, we're probably going to get a good Andre winner this year.
I know they've announced. I know just the other day they announced a few more people. Like I know Kane's in it this year.
Yeah, I have a list. Dash Wilder, Scott Dawson, Baron Corbin, Mojo Rawley, Ty Dillinger, Woken Matt Hardy, Dolph, Fandango, Tyler Breeze, Goldie, Heath Slater, Rhino, Zack Rhino, Primo, Kane, Kurt Hawkins. Will he get his first victory?
Primo is still in? Wow.
Yep.
They announced Primo on SmackDown this week.
Kurt Hawkins, might he get his first win?
No.
Shelton Benjamin, Chad Gable, and Aiden English.
Person eliminated, so.
Why do I see that? Why do I agree with that?
I was thinking about, Heath Slater, but...
Oh, yeah, Heath Slater eliminated by Rhino because he's tired of the dead weight.
No, I mean...
Rhino eliminated him in the Rumble, too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I believe so.
I think so. No. I think it was I think it was someone else. He eliminated Sheamus, but then he got eliminated afterwards. But I think he's gonna do that stick again, where he cannot make it to the ring. First of all, he's gonna get knocked around again.
No, this one is everybody starts in the ring.
Oh, okay.
Battle Royals start with everybody in the ring.
Okay. Fair enough.
I hope we get some NXT entrants. Like
El Tranquilo, El Idolo. I see El Idolo giving the strap up to Aleister Black tomorrow night.
Yeah, but right now, if they give Andrade Cien Almas the entrance in the Battle Royal, he's winning the Battle Royal. And I don't think he's winning the Battle Royal, so.
I know Tanya loves her some Aleister Black.
I actually think with the injury to Bobby Fish, I think Undisputed drops the titles. I think he loses the ladder match, and I think Adam Cole debuts in the Andre.
Ah, okay.
Mr. Mediocre?
Mr. Mediocre.
HBK Jr.
No, he
HBK
can't.
wannabe. And
That is
Bobby,
his son.
I mean, okay. I mean,
and Bobby Roode is Ric Flair wannabe. Well, can we all agree on
That is
that?
Shawn Michaels. That is Shawn Michaels'
please
child.
please
This
don't.
is
HBK is one of my favorite wrestlers. Please don't put him in the same level. Mr.
well,
Mediocre.
that is one of your favorite wrestlers'
Yeah,
biological son.
HBK's
That's
by
his
far my
daddy.
favorite.
Look, Shawn Michaels is one of my favorite. I'm just saying that's his child. Come on now, y'all see it.
Super cake.
Look at Adam Cole.
He's not his
Look at him.
legitimate son.
But who's
Yeah.
No, pull up a picture of Adam Cole and Shawn Michaels. Pull up video and watch their body mannerisms, the way they talk. That is Shawn Michaels' son. I'm convinced.
But who's the
Telling you.
is it
Who's the
legitimate or Tanya? Is Adam Cole legitimate or illegitimate as a son?
No, illegitimate. Shawn Michaels got around back in them days. I have done the math. It is completely possible. Adam Cole is from Texas, right?
Mhm.
Shawn Michaels is from
Okay.
Texas.
Okay. Shawn
Hello.
Michaels got around a lot in the territories in Texas in the 80s.
Mhm.
He was somebody then. Okay. I'm just
Well,
saying.
technically speaking, he's born from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. He's billed from Panama City,
Oh.
Florida.
Okay. You think Shawn Michaels didn't get around them areas too?
Yeah, if nothing else, no matter where it was, Shawn Michaels probably had
His
it
history
growing up.
notwithstanding, I
I'm
refuse
sorry,
to
I'm
put
sorry.
him on the same level.
No, I'm not saying they're on any level. I would just want everybody I talk to know that they're father and son. I'm not saying like their wrestling ability. No, it skipped the wrestling ability.
Sure,
Unfortunately,
I get it. I
it
get
did. It did.
Oh come
I'm
on!
not
If you watch,
comparing
if
them
you
like
watch
that.
that match with Aleister Black, Adam
Mhm.
Cole wrestled an amazing match.
Yeah,
But
because
he
I
put
was
on-
just about to
what you
go
think
into this.
last
As
night?
much, as much as I call him Mr. Mediocre, back during the past few weeks in NXT, where he put up impressive matches upon impressive matches, especially with Aleister Black, he is putting his own mark in NXT.
Yeah.
So he's improving. It's just that I still can't invest my time on Adam Cole as much as he is a good wrestler. He's as much as he's starting to prove that he's a good wrestler.
Well, Tanya,
Yeah,
No, you're
you
not.
want to hear something funny? Because
yeah.
MDS talks about how boring Adam Cole is. Okay. I had a hard time, not last week, but the week before. And I told this story last Saturday, and I'll tell it again. I had a hard time falling asleep one night. I was watching NXT. Adam Cole's match came on. I was out. I woke up. It was over. I was like, what the hell? What the hell just happened here? I fell asleep during a match, and that tells you something.
Wow.
Think like they're gonna call him up and he's gonna win the Andre.
I don't know if he'll win it. I think he'll debut in it.
Yeah, I think he'll debut.
Okay.
Okay. So who? Okay, since the question's already been brought up, who do you think is going to win the battle royale?
Oh God. The question is, what legends are going to show up in that match first?
Big Show.
Kevin.
Kevin Nash, Scott Hall. You know who I'd like to see in the match?
Probably just Kevin.
You know who I'd like to see in the match, to be perfectly honest with you? And he was just put in the hall last night.
Mark Henry.
Mark Henry. Yes.
If they put Henry in it, he should win it. It should be his last hurrah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I agree
Absolutely.
with that 100%.
Yeah.
If Mark Henry's in it, that's my pick.
Yeah.
Okay. Logical enough.
Yeah. As far as the other ones on it, the question isn't if there's legends or if there's those or if there's NXT. The big question is do they put 205ers in it this time?
Good question.
If they do, it's not going to be the people we want. You're not going to see like the Linsterados or the Grand Metallics. You're going to see like Drew Guluk. You're going to see Tony Nese. People who it's going to be obvious they're not going to be able to win it. It's not going to be the popular 205ers.
I'm just saying, do they get in? Is this one so?
Okay.
As far as who I think will win it, personally, I think the fact that they apparently canceled the Elias concert on that one says that Elias will probably win it. So
Okay.
No, Elias is going to be Braun's mystery partner. I'm convinced.
Okay. I mean, he's not. I mean, yeah. I mean, he's not. He's not billed. He's not being put into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale.
Yeah.
As far as the list goes, because considering, let me just recall back who's. We have Aiden English in, we have Baron Corbin in, we have Chad Gable in, we have Kurt Hawkins in, Dash Wilder is in, Dolph Ziggler is in, Fandango, Goldust, Heath Slater, Kane, Matt Hardy, Mojo Rawley, Primo, of course, Rhino, Scott Dawson, Ty Dillinger, Tyler Breeze, and Zack Ryder. So those are your participants.
Then the only person I could see who could win it would be Chad Gable, if only because I heard rumors they're going to push him after WrestleMania, and I think it's, as I said, it's a Star Trek movie rule on this one. The odd years, you always get someone who succeeded as a Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner. The even years, you get someone who failed miserably as the Andre Battle Royal winner. And I could see Chad Gable succeeding, so.
The only other name from that list that I would want to see win it would be Ty Dillinger.
Mm-hmm.
And then aside from Dolph and Baron, he's the only actual singles competitor on that list, isn't he?
Matt Hardy?
Yeah.
Oh, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. Yeah.
I mean, I've got Matt Hardy winning, unless Bray Wyatt comes back to cost him.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't see Bray Wyatt coming back to cost him. I see Bray Wyatt coming back to help Woken Matt, because he's now part of the Woken universe, unfortunately.
Well,
or maybe, fortunately for him, maybe Bray will actually be somebody now.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be Brother Bray, like Brother Nero.
He won't. He's
Brother Wyatt. Brother.
He is officially in his daddy spot. IRS types. He's not. Bray's not going to be what he could have been. I see Matt Hardy possibly winning. I agree with that.
Or Brother Nero winning, because I could see Jeff coming back, because he's clear.
If they're renaming him similar to how they did Jeff Hardy, then it would be Brother Lawrence, because his middle name is Lawrence.
You'd have to say that is one of the long stretches that you can stretch out.
I could see that happening. I really could.
Really?
And there's also the option that they could make his middle name something that starts with R and fake it, because then you have Brother IRS's son, so.
Brother IRS and Sons, okay.
Or they just probably say Brother Wyatt or Brother Bray.
Yeah.
They're not very inventive with names.
You don't want to go with his actual name on this one, because you've got a relatively heavy set guy who's named Windham Rotunda.
Right?
Do you want to run with that with a guy who's as big as Bray Wyatt is his name?
Well, maybe it'll be Brother Harris then.
Yeah, Brother Husky.
Oh God.
Brother Husky.
But okay, we're bringing up Husky Harris. I listened on Wednesday, Tonya.
Oh, definitely. When Andrew and I said, what if he just comes back as Husky Harris and act like he don't know who Bray Wyatt is?
Yes.
I'm like, what y'all talking about? He said, I've been off on a sabbatical. What do you mean? Bray Wyatt? Never heard of.
Things are cloudy. I don't remember. I mean, that would work. That would be a way of burying that would be a way of burying the Bray Wyatt character forever.
If they wanted to.
Yeah. I don't think they will though.
It would work. Because I was sitting there listening to your show going, oh, damn, Tonya, that's, WWE, I hope you're listening.
Oh, you know they listen to me and Andrew. They steal our ideas all the time.
Shit, they steal mine.
They stole Takers.
They did.
I'm not surprised. They steal fan ideas all the time. I'm convinced of that.
It's like, I know there's spies that listen to the show, damn it.
Yeah, they've got people like on the internet.
I'm sure there's
part
people,
of the
I'm sure
IWC.
there's people I'm sure there's people in the community that I belong to that are WWE
Employees.
plants.
Yeah, plants.
Yeah.
I mean, how the hell can you explain WWE actually considering us to have press kits for WrestleMania?
Yeah. They know who we are. Because they said we're not old enough. We're too new.
Yeah, we're too new. What the fuck? Okay, fine. Technically, we were too new. I mean, we were what, like 4 or 5 months off? Yeah, just over 6 months back then.
So
wow. I mean, wow. Okay, never mind. I digress. I mean, okay. Considering that everyone is looking forward for the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale, and I think most of us have a variety of people who we want to see win this. But hopefully, I think all of us could agree on just one point where the winners should have a decent amount of push or a decent amount of exposure to the main roster. Because
always.
I think the winner should be given some kind of title shot.
Yes.
But it should be for the IC or the US title, not the big title. The next title down, the mid-card title.
I've said on that one. For me to consider the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner a success, they have to do something at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. That's 3 months out, and then you know if it was a success or not. Either they're in the Money in the Bank match, or they at least have a relevant title match at that pay-per-view. Then you can safely say, yeah, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner was the winner.
I've got an idea.
Sure, go ahead.
The Andre Memorial Battle Royal winner and the Women's Battle Royal winner, for that matter, you know, at Money in the Bank, they, you know,
automatic bid into Money in the Bank.
No, not automatic bid into Money in the Bank. The winner of the Money in the Bank match has to put the case up against the Battle Royal winner.
I like it.
On either Raw or SmackDown within the next 2 weeks. Yeah. They have 14 days to put it up, or the money, if they don't, the Money in the Bank winner is stripped and the Battle Royal winner gets the briefcase. That'll make the Battle Royals a little bit more important, don't you think?
And it will actually like make the briefcase winner like you can cheat in the briefcase match and win the briefcase, and then cheat and become the champion. So yeah, I like that.
Something else I'd like to see, and we haven't seen it recently in the last few Money in the Bank winners, is for a good stretch, the Money in the Bank winners actually defended their cases in matches.
They used to, yeah. They haven't done
like
that.
It was almost like a mini belt, like like Dolph Ziggler defended his against.
But the difference with it was this: if you were DQ'd or lost by countout, you still lost the case.
Yep.
There was no champion's advantage with the case, and they have to keep it that way. Who here would agree?
Yeah,
I would. Yeah, I would a little bit.
Book it, WWE.
as if they don't really listen to this podcast at all. At all.
True.
Hey, Vince.
Hey, Kevin. What are you
doing? Hey, pal.
God damn it, you guys.
You gotta wonder. You really gotta wonder. They have people that just listen to these shows.
I just don't. If they want to listen, just listen. But anyway, okay. Hate to beat on. Should we go on?
Let's get to the main card.
Yeah. Should we go on the main card? Which one do you want to sink your teeth in first?
Let's sink our teeth into the possible match first. Let's get that.
Okay.
Let's get that gorilla out of the room.
Okay.
The possible match between.
Oh, I know. You want to know? Let's start off with Randy Orton versus Bobby Roode versus Jinder Mahal versus Rusev.
No,
Actually,
I said the possible match.
yeah.
The possible match of Undertaker versus Cena.
Ah, okay. We're gonna
Or
go there first.
something. Let's get that out of the way because I have my opinions.
Okay.
As much as I love Undertaker,
Uh-huh.
and that is a well-known fact. I cried for days after Undertaker lost last year. Days, I'll tell you.
This is a known fact.
Yes, everybody here knows this.
Yeah.
Taker has huge emotions to Undertaker. Yeah.
Mark, stay retired, please.
I mean, here's the possibility. What if it is amount to nothing? It's just amount to nothing. Just nothing.
It's going to
What
piss off a lot of people.
Yeah, they can't
I
do
don't
nothing at this point.
Allowing Cena to trash him the last 4 weeks if it's going to amount to nothing.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I've said, I think right now the best option they could do would be if Undertaker comes back and he's Braun's partner, and then he goes to Cena in the front of this crowd and says, "Did you forget, boy? I'm a fan of respect here. You disrespected me against Roman Reigns. You disrespected me for the last 2 months. Did you really think I was going to face you at WrestleMania by this way?" Braun Strowman was kicking ass. He was taking names. He was doing everything right on this one. He deserved to have Undertaker face as his tag partner.
I mean that strikes a good chord because I think the past few weeks before I saw a comic strip from Botch Spot where Cena was calling out the Undertaker and suddenly Rey Mysterio comes out. He thought that he's going to face the Rey Mysterio and then suddenly Undertaker comes out, someone who he wants. But then again, Cena was ignored. Rey and Undertaker wants to wrestle one another. I think it sets off a really good precedence on. I think it strikes a chord when you say that because Undertaker sees Braun kicking ass and deserves his respect. John Cena just trashes him, deserves nothing.
Well, it wasn't just they did that. It just remember from the Roman Reigns feud. So Roman Reigns beats Undertaker, retires him, and Cena said, "Big whoop! You retired a broken down, retired guy with a bad hip." Do you really think that Undertaker would face John Cena after he said that about him?
Oh no,
I wouldn't.
No,
That's why I say, Mark, stay retired.
no respecting person who already doesn't need to prove himself already to the mass crowd, to the big amount of people would actually take up on that offer.
But you can do something fun without him having an actual match, though.
Yeah, and that's another option. What if Undertaker does come out, but it doesn't really lead to a match?
Or what if? How about this, guys? What if Michelle McCool comes out and confronts Cena and bitch slaps him down,
I don't think that
and then says to John, "My husband sent me out to take care of his light work."
Yeah.
So does that mean we get John Nikki versus Taker McCool?
Michelle. Another mixed match.
I could see it happening at one of the big four.
Again, but then again, that puts a precedence. Undertaker doesn't really get retired. Or, considering that I just got this kind of idea, what if Undertaker did come out? And then all leads to a big promo, yada yada yada, and suddenly Undertaker wants, okay, retire me. I think leads to the whole big official thing that Undertaker is retired, and the one who he wants to make that kind of call is Cena.
That's a problem.
What?
And Tanya, you'll agree with this.
Mhm.
Roman Reigns has been living on the retirement of Undertaker for the last year. Right or wrong?
You know what? He can have that if he needs it, since he's so petty. Because Vince loves Roman more. Roman doesn't need to retire the Undertaker. Legacy. Let him have that. I just listen. Actions mean stuff. When somebody takes off their clothes and does all the symbolism, like I watch wrestling to get my emotions work, but you don't have to flat out lie to me. If that wasn't his last match, why did you do that? If you're going, like, I can respect the Undertaker for not promoting or showing up for this match at all, but like I can't really respect this angle. I don't respect John Cena anymore because of this, all his shenanigans. It's just like it's a waste. They could have had Roman for the past 3 years in the mid card, helping get these other guys over instead of all this BS. People were like, "Fuck you, Roman," and I'm sorry for cursing, but that's what they chanted because they thought he retired the Undertaker. Like seriously, he takes all that heat just for the Undertaker to ride back in the next year. So me discussing all possibilities of whatever could happen, I'm not going to watch it. As soon as I hear Cena's music or the Undertaker's music, I'm turning the network off.
You were serious about that?
I'm dead serious. And I'm going to turn my network off and I'm going to post all the trolling gifts I can and all the shade I can. My friends will let me know when it's over and I'm going to turn the network back on and enjoy my WrestleMania. This is not happening to me.
Tanya, are we going to have to use your hashtag over this?
Oh no, I'm cool.
Block a bitch.
I find it this. Listen, I done blocked so many people that I hardly have to do that now. So,
I haven't had to use it yet. I told you that I haven't had to use it yet. I've been close,
but you follow.
But I haven't had to use it yet.
I'm kind of provocative on Twitter. People
I would only do that. I would only do that as a joke, Tanya.
I'm gonna put a tip jar on the cussing jar and say no shit. No shit.
Yeah, I just had to get that out. I think I'm disgusted. I don't like it at all. But go ahead, John Cena, do your thing. You are showing exactly how petty you are and how sad you are that WWE doesn't need you, and you see it.
Well, here's the thing. Here's another thing, Tanya, and I'm surprised you haven't brought this up yet. Was it WrestleMania 28, the first WrestleMania in New Jersey? Wasn't that the build up? Wasn't that the build up where John Cena was trolling all over The Rock for being part-time? And has he not become?
Yeah.
Has he not become what he despised?
He wants to be The Rock so bad, it's ridiculous. He wants to be that guy. For 10 years, he buried everybody who was close to his spot, so everybody can say, "Well, John's the only one they got. They got to keep pushing him." Then he sees this other guy come in. Is not threatened by anyone. Makes it there anyway. The locker room loves him. Yeah, the fans are dividing, but they're still coming. They're still filling up these arenas to come see him and pay him. Yes. He's so jealous. I used to respect John Cena before his feud with Roman Reigns. I don't. They were like, yeah, he helped him on the worst way possible. Like how somebody tortures you to help you become a survivor. They're not really a hero. He really wasn't trying to help Roman. That was just a side effect of what he tried to do.
Okay.
And this is a continuation with Undertaker. So I have no use for this match or anything like this match. So
okay, fair enough. Okay. Let's put the whole conjectures aside. Are we going to see Cena versus Undertaker?
Not as a match.
Yes.
Okay. Are we gonna see Cena and Undertaker in a match in WrestleMania?
No.
I think yes. There's just pro wrestling rules on this one. When you keep piping up for so long and so long and so long, this match will never happen. This match will never happen. This match is never happening. eventually that's code for this match will happen. Heck, WWF went to court to say that if you hype up that a match won't happen for a long time, that's saying the match would happen, with the Eric Bischoff called Vince McMahon out and on WCW. WWF will tell you flat out that this match is happening. And probably the World Wildlife Fund will tell you that either, even though I got the F out there and said it. This match is absolutely happening.
And if it doesn't happen, what would be the whole end game for Cena and Undertaker if they meet up in WrestleMania but don't have a match?
Well, I just honestly have Cena in the middle of the ring doing whatever. American Badass hits. Undertaker comes down on his bike, beats the crap out of Cena, hits the last ride. You know, after cutting a promo on him about disrespect, rides back up the ramp, puts his fist in the air, and that's the last we see Taker until he's inducted into the Hall of Fame next year. That's what I have for him.
But do we see Undertaker actually accepting the Hall of Fame induction?
If he's retired, then yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why he's not in this year's.
Yeah, this is his saying goodbye. He comes back as the American Badass, as pretty much Mark Calloway, beats the crap out of John Cena. He retired the Dead Man last year. We don't need to see the Dead Man again. Beats up John Cena, rides off into the sunset, says goodbye to the fans, and then goes in the Hall of Fame next year.
I can see that. I can see both sides of it, because at this point I'm just raising my hand and say, okay, fuck, go ahead. Surprise me with the whole Undertaker versus Cena. Show me what's the end game, because I can't put my finger on which one is which. If we have a match, then okay, fine. I'm not going to be happy with the match because, as I thought, Undertaker has been retired. But I can see the point where, okay, Mark Calloway puts the Undertaker character out, the Ministry of Darkness or the Dead Man character out, not the biker Taker or the one more closely associated with the human side of Mark Calloway
and Kid Rock.
Yeah, and Kid Rock. So talking about that. Oh God.
I don't know. I have to agree with Tanya though. The heat that Roman has taken, especially the Monday night after Raw after Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania last year, and then to turn around and have the play with my emotions as a mark for Undertaker, I'm torn.
Yeah, because really, the one thing that WWE does with their last matches for people is that they're always so sadly beautiful when you notice it. It was the same way with Flair, with Shawn. With Taker last year, it was like watching your beloved pet hobble around at the end of their lives and knowing they've got to be put down. They've got to be put down. I'm going to be so sad when I put them down. But if I really love them, this is what I have to do for them. That was Taker Roman last year.
Yeah. And Roman is the only one, I think, on the entire roster that could have handled it. I don't think John Cena could have done it.
I'd say sure. I'd say he could be. I'd say he could be. It's just that the question is how. How are you going to? You're not going
to have Undertaker lose to an AA.
Yeah, true.
I think Taker's Minion. Are you saying he could have handled it respectfully, or?
Yeah.
No.
Like, what do you mean?
I'm talking about all the heat and everything else. You look at the heat that you're right. You brought up a very valid point. The heat that Roman got the Monday night afterwards. I've never seen that much hatred on any wrestler in years. I mean, that crowd literally hated him with the FU Roman and all that stuff. That's bad. That's bad.
Yeah, true.
And I love the promo Roman cut that night.
Yep.
That was the beginning, Tanya, of Roman getting good on the mic. He was only supposed to be out there, what was it, 5 minutes? He was out there for almost 15. He had that crowd in his hand. And then just said, "This is my yard now. Mic drop, walk away." It was one of the most brilliant promos of the year last year.
Mhm.
I don't know. Am I torn? Do I want to see Undertaker one more time? Sure. But do I want to go through what I went through last year again? No.
The big thing with this is that, you know, when you had Flair and Michaels and them retire, they got a send-off.
Mhm.
To have Taker send-off be Roman Reigns going, "This is my yard now," doesn't make sense.
But he got his send off when he took his outfit off in the middle of the ring and left completely. That was a send off. That was like saying the dead man has rested in peace.
But even Flair had that same type of moment when he left at WrestleMania. But the next night, both Shawn and Flair had moments on Raw where they got to talk to the audience.
We're talking about Undertaker. I don't think he would do that. Though.
That's not him.
Yeah.
That character, that dead man persona is someone that, you know, would just fade away. I knew that. I knew that 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it was obvious when Taker wouldn't even show up in the send-off court until after the cameras were off for Ric Flair's send-off. Undertaker would not take a flowery emotional send-off like these characters would.
Mhm.
No, he doesn't want that.
It's not his. It's not him. It's not his way of doing a send off. It's not how Undertaker would want to envisage him going off on a good note.
And that's why I bring up the question: will he accept Hall of Fame induction?
I think as a company man, he would.
But is it really his style?
I think as a person, he couldn't.
That is a good question though. He might be like, yo, I really don't want to do it. If Vince runs out of people, he'll do it then. He's like, nah, induct somebody else this year.
Yeah.
Because and I'll say this, and Tony, you'll agree with me in it. Undertaker, Mark Calloway, Texas Red, Mean Mark Callis, whatever you remember him as, has that much respect for the business to always put over somebody else before himself.
Mm-hmm.
He was always that way. Even when he beat your ass in the ring, you looked good.
Yeah.
Look at what was it? Jeff Hardy and him in that match from Chicago.
Yeah.
It was a Raw. I think it was a Raw or a SmackDown. Can't remember which.
The ladder match.
It was a Raw.
The ladder match for the hardcore title. No, it was a hardcore title.
That was the undisputed.
Yeah.
I thought that was a hardcore. I thought that was a hardcore. That was a hardcore title match. And Jeff Hardy kept getting up.
No, it was the Universal title or the undisputed title.
It definitely was.
And after Taker's all the way up at the top of the ramp on the bike, and there's Jeff Hardy beat to death, standing in the ring, hollering, "Taker, I'm still here." And Taker not even putting a kickstand down on his motorcycle, walking back to the ring like he's going to kick the shit out of him again, and then stopping short and looking at him, raising his hand, and giving Jeff Hardy that respect.
Mm-hmm.
That's putting that kid over.
Yeah.
That's the selfless man he is. That's why he won't. I don't think he'll accept a Hall of Fame induction because of that. He'll want someone else to go in his place because That's just how he is. His job was to always put over others.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's also a case where it would probably be a hindrance here on it, because if the Undertaker does put over everybody else until he accepts his Hall of Fame induction speech, you're going to have things like Cena calling out Undertaker. You're going to have everybody saying, "We want you in the we want you for one more match, and that's why Roman's match last year was so beautiful on it, because it was Undertaker saying, "I don't have one more match left in me anymore. Let me rest in peace. It's over." But until he says, "I'll go in the Hall of Fame," people are going to say, "Okay, we want that close. We want you to have one more match."
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe. Okay. We wax lyrical on this anymore? Anyone wants to throw their final thoughts on this before we move on?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we can get into the real matches.
Sure. Can I start with Randy Orton versus Bobby Wood versus Jinder Mahal versus Rusev?
Absolutely, because that one's the match that I think is going to go on first. Because Duke was saying that you have to have the who goes out first on the card. And right now, the only one for who goes out first on the Mania card would be the question. Do you do 80,000 people screaming, "Rusev Day," or 80,000 people singing, "Glorious"?
I think both of them would be counted for that.
Yeah. I just don't, I can't, it'll be after the Andre for sure.
Yeah.
And how tore up is Aiden English going to be?
Aiden won't. He may be in the Andre 5 minutes.
Yeah, he probably gonna go out quick.
5 minutes.
First
person out.
Right after
and
Hawkins.
he's got a song to sing, so.
Oh, sure.
I think we lost somebody.
Who?
Yeah.
Craig.
Oh,
Oh,
we did lose Craig.
Yep.
it's okay. He still has the link, hopefully, so he can. Hop.
Yeah, he does.
Okay. Cool.
But anyway. Oh, shoot. I don't know. Is Jinder ready for the U.S. belt? Nah.
I don't know. I thought that
I can't see him as a mid-card guy. I just can't.
Well, during
Well, where do you want to put him as a low tier card?
Have him always be the one that just comes short.
Yeah, I don't know, because
And
even
rework his entire character, because this angry foreigner bullshit just don't work. Yeah, I'll pay the fine. The angry foreigner bullshit don't work.
I still don't know, because even during his bad WWE title reign last year, I was just convinced he's gonna win the U.S. title and he's gonna nail it to the point that everybody turns around on him. Heck, I was saying it before. If you swapped the two feuds last year, had Jinder Mahal as U.S. champion and had AJ versus Owens for the world title, that would have been SmackDown would have stayed lit. So.
Perhaps.
It still would have been bad. No. No.
No, I actually agree with that.
And-
I think AJ
Tanya?
Owens should have.
Go ahead, Jess.
I was gonna say I think AJ Owens should have been that world title feud, and Mahal would have excelled as a U.S. champ. Being thrust into the world title just never made sense.
No. But Tanya was around when I made the prediction that Mahal was going to take it.
Mhm.
And I was going to sit there and watch the IWC burn to the ground and eat popcorn.
I don't think this title changes hands though. The United States title. I don't think.
If it changes hands, it's gonna. The only one I feel that actually could do something with it would be Rusev. It's time.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a comedy act, but let me tell you something. He's a face.
Yeah. Yeah, the only people who don't realize Rusev is a face is the book that says that who the face and heels are. Rusev's been a face since December, at least. He's the hottest hand on SmackDown right now. You gotta go with it. They put him in the match because they know he's the hot hand. So
he took a match, a triple threat match between the Masters of Chinlocks of Bobby Roode and Randy Orton, and a former WWE champion that can't seem to find his ass with both hands in Jinder Mahal. That was a match that was, for the most part, meh, and turned it into a must-see match.
Must-sleep match rather than must-see match.
It's a must-see versus a much-sleep.
Sure.
Because I look at this card, and I'm going to take a line from George Curtin Jerker at Chavez and say there isn't a match on that card that's to go out and get Thai food.
Mhm.
There isn't.
Oh. No.
The original Thai food match was going to be the U.S. title 3-way, triple threat, and now there's a fatal 4-way. No. Anybody else?
Oh, I thought that match, it was still the Triple H match this year. It's not like you and Kurt Angle are gonna like wrestle for like 15 minutes in that tag match first. So giving everybody like room to go to the bathroom, go get your snacks before Ronda murks Stephanie, which is what everybody really wants to see.
I think everyone's gonna see Ronda.
It should just be Ronda versus Stephanie. But
that's what it should have been all along.
These two men are in the way. But anyway,
but Triple H has got to have his 20 minutes of getting 10 minutes of getting 20 minutes.
He could have been her manager. He could have just been her manager this year. It would have been fine.
Yeah, but if it was that one, then the match would have been shorter than the entrance for his first Triple H Stephanie. Because it would have been shorter than what Nia Alexa should be. Because all that Stephanie versus Ronda should be is show up, armbar, Stephanie taps out. That's it.
Yep.
That's what it should be. And the head of talent relations should not be gobbling up ring time on a show like this anymore. Stephanie's manager, Kurt Angle should be in Ronda's corner, and we could like the U.S. title. You're right. You add Rusev in there, they can kind of get away with plunder, no DQ. It could be a banger if they have, if they get some time. And you worry about a match with Triple H is in it because other matches could suffer.
Yeah, because he's got to
could be one of those matches that they don't consider that important.
Because he's got to have his 20 minutes.
Yep. Unfortunately.
Right.
Triple H has got to have his 20 minutes every year at WrestleMania. If he don't, he's going to whine like a little baby for the next 2 years. All the shit I do for you, Vince, and you can't give me a match.
You sound just like him. Oh my god!
That was actually pretty excellent.
All the shit I do, and you don't want to give me a match.
Yeah, I mean, this is my church. This is my life, and you're not allowing me to exercise it.
Shut up!
Yeah, and Vince is over there. Shut up!
Jesus.
Sorry, I scare you people by being able to do a half-decent Triple H.
It's good.
It's a decent Triple H.
And I was like, did you?
What's that, Tonya?
Yes.
What'd you say? You thought Triple H came in the room for a second?
For a second, I was like, how did he get?
How did he get in?
that would be a coup if I was able to pull that off. Get Triple H on this show. Jeez.
On the day of Takeover, come on now.
Yeah.
All right.
Ugh. I didn't mean to scare you.
So for this this fatal 4-way, I would say Randy Orton because I'm being skeptical about so many title changes. The title does change. I would go Rusev because he makes sense.
Agreed. I would give it to Rusev. That boy has worked his ass off.
Yeah.
You know,
Because,
he went through the Triple H school of eating plates of shit because of the whole Lana thing, him and Lana.
Mm-hmm.
And he was given an absolute shit character, you know, as this, you know, and Rusev Day and all that, and he has made some of the greatest tasting chicken salad out of not so much chicken shit, but chicken diarrhea. And he's made chicken salad out of it and got it over big.
And on top of that, has been having, I mean, his matches with Nakamura were great.
Yes.
I
He forced Nakamura to show up.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
Well, okay, I'll
Rusev,
say
Rusev,
this.
Rusev.
Yeah, I'll say this about Rusev. He has the same syndrome as Becky Lynch in the case that he hasn't won anything for about a year now. More than a year now. Something has to give. With his popularity, with the whole Rusev Day thing, something has to give. Because if not, he'll become disillusioned for about 2 years and then saying, what's the point of me getting over with the crowd? People are cheering for me, and yet I'm a heel, and yet there's no payoff in the end.
Well, it's even more than that something would give beforehand, because there was the rumors the last couple of days that have been saying that Rusev got added to this match because he asked for his release a few weeks ago. So if he does lose this match, there's a good chance he says, fuck it, I'm done. I'll put the money in the swear jar too, but everybody else did, so.
I could see that. I could see Rusev saying he wanted out because he's not getting anything.
Yeah. And I agree. If they're not giving you anything, you go and he would have a great career outside of WWE.
Yeah, Rusev would be the man in New Japan right now.
Oh God. Ghetto would love to have him.
Yeah. And even beyond that one, he probably.
And I could see, you know, where I see him going to be not, and it's going to be funny when I say this, not to Bullet Club. Oh no. Los Ingobernables de Japón.
Yeah. Very
good.
Rusev.
Very good.
Not Blazing.
Rusev being with LIJ. Oh my God. Him with Bad Luck Fale and all of them. Oof.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yep. Plus it would work because Rusev showed he's not just an amazing Haas, he's also got great comic timing. Heck, that's why I was not surprised by Rusev Day succeeding on this one. I knew he was going to kill it in a comedy role when he killed himself with Summer Rae trying to get that stupid angle over and
with
actually
Dolph.
tried to make it work.
Dolph and throwing the fish and all that. Yeah.
I mean, I think my point. I think I was initially thinking of Suzuki-gun, but okay, Lij is also a good option, a great option, even I think with all his comedic timing. Yeah, he could be gold. He can actually be gold.
Honestly, the only reason that Suzuki-gun would work on this one would be just the thought of people at the San Francisco show singing Kaze Rusev Day.
Please don't ruin Kaze Ninare because that's already an awesome song. Suddenly singing Kaze Rusev Day. Sure, why not? Windy Rusev Day. Rusev Day. Considering that Kaze is actually word for wind. So. But anyway, okay. hate to beat on anything, any other points of views that you guys want to knock on this 4-way match before I put the last word on this on my end.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I think Taker knows this best when it comes to me and multi-person matches. I don't like it purely because my focus will be split 4-way. Number one. Number two, I sincerely hope that Rusev wins. Because going forward, supposedly, and if the rumors are true that Rusev is actually considering quitting, put the belt on him to placate him, and see what he can do with the belt, with the U.S. title belt, again. I mean, it's an experiment that could work. It can work, considering his popularity and considering his timing and all that. So, try it. Oh, move on. Anything? Okay, so let's move on. Anything that you want? Any other matches that you want to start off with? Want to start off with the other multi-match, The Miz versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor for the Intercontinental Championship?
Why not?
Yeah, let's do that one.
Okay.
Oh yes.
Mr. Pants, Mr. Flaming Ass Pants versus Mr. Smile All the Time versus I Just Got a Baby. I'm awesome.
Quit the hate on the Miz.
Oh,
Come on, man.
Right. I
Come
am
on,
so
man.
with you. I am.
Come on,
Listen.
Taker. He just got a
The
kid.
Nobody cared about the Intercontinental Championship match. It was thrown in some useless ladder match, given to somebody, and then
Like Zack
it was a
Ryder.
running joke. It was a running joke that the Intercontinental Champion would always lose non-title matches all the time. It was like nobody was cared about that title, and the Miz got it. He cares. He brought up the prestige, and he's a new father. He's looking to break a record. Then you have Finn and Seth, who have gotten their own little rivalry. Seth is like butting into this anyway, because it was supposed to be Finn and Miz, but Jason Jordan got injured, so Seth got put into this. I think the matches that have been around it have been very good. Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins this past Monday was
The bomb.
wonderful.
That was the bomb match of the night.
Exactly, and I cannot wait to see like what story they're going to tell in this match. And I think Finn's going to walk it. I want to see Miz retain personally because I am a mother. So, people gushing about their kids, I get a little sentiment. So I'm like, shit, let them win. But it's going over. So I think it's going to be.
You don't see Seth Rollins getting the Grand Slam?
Not yet.
Not
yet. I think he and Finn are going to feud for it.
Mm-hmm. Because those two are slowly becoming. Those two. Sorry to cut you off, Tanya. Those two, Seth Rollins and Finn. Yeah. So Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, these two guys are slowly starting to grow to become a feud together with the Intercontinental title. If they want to lay off the Miz for about a while, just because he has a kid, then yeah, he can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Honestly, it says about the card that this is probably the match I'm least interested in the card. And considering how good Miz has been as champion, how good Rollins and Balor have been in their matches, that says something about how good the card is. Right now, I just think that Miz is probably going to lose just because he did have his kid recently and he wants some paternity leave. So I'm thinking it goes to Rollins and Balor feud simply because I'd be more likely to assume a Balor turn than a Miz turn, than a Rollins turn right now. So,
well, I look at you asked what all the I don't use the word hate. First of all, okay, when it comes to my dislike of the Miz, I despise the character.
Yep.
Okay. The man, I do not. The man, I respect.
Mhm.
Mike Mizanin, I respect.
Mhm.
You know, he's a new father. I know how it is. I'm a father. I know how much of a change it is. It'll change your whole attitude. Hearing him cut face-tight promos during the match with Finn and Seth was a welcome change for me. Because you could actually hear it in his voice just how happy he is to be a father now.
Mhm.
For once in his life, he's actually happy about something other than being in ring and being this despised character, The Miz.
Mhm.
Has it broke some of the ice around my heart when it comes to him? Yeah. Am I going to immediately become a mark for The Miz? No. That's just, you know, I will always give credit where it is due. Even if it's a character I do not like. And that's the difference with me. I can separate the character from the man or the character from the woman.
Mhm.
And that is, you know, that's hard to do
Yeah.
in this business. That's hard to do when you're a fan of professional wrestling.
Mhm.
Because we don't hear about The Miz doing the Make-A-Wish stuff. He does it.
Mhm.
You know, you look at him with when they did it for Jarius, the Make-A-Wish stuff, and he was in the locker room and stuff. He's down there talking to him, saying, "Your favorite wrestler?" He goes, "Nope, that's I think he said Roman. I can't remember." And he goes, "Well, your second favorite." And he did, and Jarius just sort of says, "You're at the bottom of my list." And Miz just laughed it off, but you could see that Miz was having fun with it.
Mhm.
That was Mike Mizanin, the man. That wasn't Miz, the character. That was Mike Mizanin, the man.
Mhm.
I'll give him the credit for, you know, as a man, but as a character, I can't stand him.
Yep.
You're not supposed to.
I know
Yeah.
he's doing his job.
Yeah.
And
But
how do you know this? You have that nerve in your back when you hear a certain sound from your kids or from someone that makes your legs shake. It just grates that nerve. I know you have. I know you have. I know what happens in your house, Tanya. It does. Don't tell me it don't.
That's like every other day.
The Miz character does that to me. I see Seth going over getting the Grand Slam because they can't say the IWC cannot say it was only the Shield that did it because they just did it to Randy Orton at Fastlane.
Mhm.
So, and the feud starting between Finn and Seth, and I see Finn turning heel and walking around with that big smile on his face. It could be, you know, they're trying to say, well, it's making him look dorky. I said, no, that's just a cocky, arrogant smile. I've always seen it that way.
Yeah.
Anyway, anyone else?
nope.
Next match. MDS.
Let's get to the one of the one of the most polarizing matches in history. Then Charlotte Flair versus Asuka.
For the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'm jumping around now.
Yeah, I see that, but that's fine.
I'm jumping around, but I don't really care about the whole jumping around thing. Okay, Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. Honestly speaking, I'm looking forward to it, despite the whole low build up of it.
Well, it doesn't need that much buildup. You have
No.
Asuka, who's an unstoppable force, and Charlotte Flair, who's one of the best of the women in kayfabe on it. That's all you really need.
Oh, but the IWC wants promos every week.
Mhm.
No,
I'm not saying the IWC would be stands there. I'm just saying that Shawn Michaels wants to kick them, and he just doesn't know why.
Okay.
I would agree that Shawn Michaels wants to super kick them all because there are just some matches that don't need a lot of buildup. You got two kick-ass personalities going at it in this match.
Yep, it's basically the female version. It's the female version of AJ versus Nakamura. You don't need much. Just have them go out there and wrestle.
Exactly.
I mean, I think we can talk about both Charlotte Asuka and AJ Styles Nakamura in the same breath, just because I think the argument, and I put this in air quotes, the arguments say that these two have the lowest amount of buildup, leading up to it. Because I don't see, because
true.
Yeah, because here's the thing. In my humble and personal opinion, I don't think these two matches need that kind of build-up. Need the whole in-your-face build-up. This is what's gonna happen. Show it in your face. We don't. On these two feuds, it doesn't need it because you already know who Asuka is. You already know who Charlotte Flair is. Same goes to AJ Styles and Nakamura. You both know who Styles and Nakamura are, or is. Sorry. We all know the pedigree of all four of these individuals. We all know how they are in a ring. We all know how they are in a match. Watching these two duking it out for the title is the only story that we need. Two people chasing after the title. Simplistic, sure. Does it want you to be put? Does it attract you to sit down and watch it for about 30 minutes or 30 to 45 minutes, maybe? Yeah. Especially in the case of AJ Styles and Nakamura. Because to those of you who don't watch NJPW,
oh God, that match has already happened.
Yeah, that match has already happened, and it was gold.
Yes,
this is the carryover to WWE, where this is the quote unquote smart match or mark match, the ones that will placate.
It's the smart match.
Okay, it's a smart match, the ones that will placate the hardcore wrestling fan, per se.
And something I'd like to say, I mean, I thought it's been a breath of fresh air that we haven't had a major build. I mean, look at the IC title picture. Yes, it's a great build going up to it, but how many times in the last few weeks have Seth and Finn been in physical interaction?
A lot of times, I think. Probably 3-4 times, I think.
But for AJ Knack and Charlotte Asuka, there has been no physical interaction. There's been teases between Knack and AJ, but no actual laying each other out or having 20 matches to build up to the match. It's just been their presence.
Yep.
What say you, Tonya?
I mean, it's all fine and good. Like, I think they're going to be great matches. I just don't I don't care who wins either one. Like, I'm fine. I think it doesn't have any builds because there were other builds to distract you. But like, if these two matches were like your two main matches on the card, it would be an issue. But I think the only reason it's not is because there is so much content and there are so many other things we got to talk about. Braun Strowman needs a partner and this, that, and, So yeah, it's fine. And with wrestlers of this pedigree, they're doing it with. So yeah, I'll agree, but I still don't really it doesn't matter who out of these four people wins. It's all good. Great. Just give me a good match. And that's about it.
I mean, that's what we all want. I mean, and the thing about it is that the fine coming, the IWC is losing its shit over these matches because, well, there's got to be a heel. There has to be a heel. No, there doesn't, people. We don't always have to have the face-heel dynamic in it to have a good match.
Hold on, wait a minute. You said that. Listen, I just wanted to point out, these are the same people that are like, don't tell me who to cheer and who to boo, right? When it comes to certain wrestlers. But now there's no heel And they're begging WWE to tell them who to cheer and who to boo.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is what they were planning.
Sorry,
This is
Tom.
what you want, right? This is what you want.
Tanya, this is why I said it, because I knew if I said that, that would push your button enough for you to speak. Because you and I are on the same page when it comes to that. I, as a fan, don't want anybody telling me who to cheer or who to boo. But I'll tell you what, I cheer both in these two matches, these four competitors, these four performers. I'll cheer for whomever wins. My preference on the women's match is that Asuka wins to keep the streak. Charlotte can afford to lose to Asuka. She's strong enough. You know, she finally, and I've said this before, she got out from under her father's shadow and is making it on her own now. She doesn't need him there anymore. And it's showing. She has improved so much in the last 18 months since getting away from Rick. Nothing against Rick. She's gotten better on the mic. She's gotten better in the ring. And she can afford to be defeated now. And it won't hurt her character.
Okay. So,
but the IWC, like I said, is losing its shit because there is no heel face dynamic in either one of these two matches. You just have four great performers, competitors, wrestlers going at it, and may the best person win.
Well, that really ties to the thing that I was saying from this new one. People kept going after Stephanie McMahon when she said, "Oh, Rock Cena is like Team Edward, Team Jacob," because ew, Twilight. But the point is that that's what you should be wanting in this era. All you need is the Team Edward, Team Jacob thing of here's this wrestler, here's this wrestler. This is this wrestler's side. This is this wrestler's side. So tell me, whose side are you on? And that's really what the IWC said they wanted. And this is what we get with a lot of these things.
And now they're asking, well, tell me who to cheer and who to boo, because
tell me who to cheer and who to boo. I cannot get over it.
Okay, I'll tell you who to cheer.
Tanya,
cheer this guy. Cheer that guy. Boo that guy.
Tanya, the IWC just turned into a group of fuckamoos.
Come on, from a weeaboo to a fuckamoo.
Tell me who to cheer so I can boo them.
Yeah,
and tell me who to boo so I can cheer.
Cheer them.
But they're not doing it in these two matches, and the internet wrestling community is losing their mind.
Yeah, true.
I mean, Thomas, Jess, MDS, you've seen it in the threads. We have seen it, and I just sit back and I laugh.
Yeah,
Thomas, you and I have had serious discussions about this.
Yeah,
and we both come to the realization that nobody's telling us anything. It's like, you choose. It's your choice. You're given the option. You're given the choice.
And heck, it's even gone further with that one. Like the whole questions that we've had on this one in the threads many times between Sasha and Bayley. That's basically, neither one's turned on the fans. It really is a perfect example of this one. Are you on Team Sasha or are you on Team Bayley?
Or Stan Sasha, Stan Bayley.
No, I don't think they're too on that cold yet.
No, I don't think that. I don't think. Yeah, sorry. Hang on. Who cut off? Who got cut off?
I think we both got silent at the same time.
Okay. I think, in a sense that people are so, so invested into what they want, who they want to cheer and who they want to be, who they want to boo at, and who they want to see succeed. I think it's come across from acceptance that you're liking this person for his or her in-ring ability to outright adulation and even outright borderline obsessed about it. I think, if I'm saying that correct.
Obsessive behavior,
which is not wrong in a way. It's just that you need to temper
I'm
it.
toast.
What's that, Tanya?
You're
I'm
the
totally
outlier.
obsessed.
You're the outlier because your obsession is tempered with reasonable points. You have your reason. You have your reasonable opinion.
Wait a minute. MDS, wait a minute.
Okay.
You're saying Tanya is reasonable?
She's insane, but most of the time her arguments on why she liked Roman is reasonable. You can't deny that.
I'll give her that.
Yay.
Yeah.
Because as much as you try to argue as much as people try to argue to the point to Tanya that Roman Reigns is bad, you shouldn't support this guy. She comes back with another logical, reasonable, and probably even legitimate opinion about it.
Yeah.
Kind of like I do with things.
Kind of. Kind of. I mean, the point is, you can cheer whoever you like, you can boo whoever you like. Just that you need to have a reason rather than I just hate the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Which is totally not the point of you supporting the guy or hating the guy.
Mm-hmm.
There must be something. There must be another underlying reason as to why you don't like the person. Is it because of his in-ring ability? Is it because of his personality? Is it because of something that he did outside of the ring?
Yeah.
Rather than I just don't like him.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like him. Boo him. Don't support him. I mean, I'm gonna ask everyone on this panel. Do you want to be that person who tells to the 5-year-old kid who's watching his or her favorite wrestler and then suddenly coming up to them and just saying, "No, this is not who you're supposed to cheer. You're supposed to boo this person."
Oh no.
No, definitely not.
No, not at all.
Of course not.
No.
Heck, one of my favorite things to know is the opposite way of try to justify cheering your favorite heel to a 5-year-old and say, what would you say for the reason that you idolize this heel wrestler, and make it work in kayfabe to a 5-year-old, knowing you can't use their in-ring ability because unless their in-ring ability matters.
5-year-olds don't care about in-ring ability.
Exactly.
I have one.
Of course not.
Yeah.
No,
it only matters if it's someone like, say, heel CM Punk or Chris Jericho or heel Dolph Ziggler, where a crux of their in-ring character as a heel is, I'm the best wrestler on the show. That's the only way you can use it for it.
Yep.
The thing is that, you know, and to be a kid again watching professional wrestling, where you didn't sit there and pick things apart like we do now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure every generation has this. You know, with what we've got, the capabilities we have nowadays, we can actually get our opinions out there for everybody to hear. Whereas as little as 20 years ago, you couldn't do it.
And it's even worse now because you've got to realize that social media's got in it to the point where you can get those opinions straight to the person. You can you can have your senpai notice you in that case.
Yes.
Oh, so we're crossing the whole senpai kohai thing now. That we're supposed to be looking in animes, but now it's crossing over to wrestling territory.
Yeah.
Who's your senpai?
And that's really the case with it. That's why Stan is such a term. Remember, in the song that made Stan, he wasn't just a big fan of Eminem. He wanted Eminem to be his boyfriend.
Right. And he killed himself and his pregnant girlfriend.
Yeah.
Because Eminem wouldn't answer him.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't answer because he was busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a celebrity. He was working. He like...
He took it a day or two too late, but anyway.
Wow.
I mean, we talked about WrestleMania to talking about Stan.
Let's get back on subject.
Let me just end on a very good note. I just kicked Stan. And that flew away. That flew over everyone's
I'm
head.
kind of lost when it comes to that stuff,
Anyway,
because
okay.
I don't know the story behind it. Also, I kind of just like, okay.
I just kickstand Shawn Michaels kickstand. So
Fair
I'll
enough.
just move on. I'll just move on.
Let's do one of the
that
two
just-
tag team matches.
Sure. Which one?
The triple threat. Usos, New Day, Bludgeon Brothers.
Intriguing. I'd
Very.
say it's intriguing.
It is intriguing. I think here, though, if we want to legitimize the Bludgeon Brothers as any type of threat other than house show squashers, they have to win the titles here.
Absolutely.
I agree. So do I,
Sorry.
Tanya.
Okay, so
And I love me some Usos now, especially the way they are.
Yeah.
They're going to Raw.
They're going to Raw and they're going to take down the bar.
They're going to Raw, getting back together. So
They're getting back together with Roman and they're going to create the Samoan Mafia.
Yeah.
so they're gonna create that, and then you have in Raw you have Finn Balor and the Bullet Club, or Balor Club for that
Exactly.
matter, and then
Or move Roman over.
move Roman over to SmackDown, create his own.
Yes.
thing.
Remember,
never
we
gonna
all know.
happen.
We all know.
Roman's the man now on Raw, so he's got to stay on
that's
Raw.
never gonna happen. He's never going to be on SmackDown.
Yeah, when they moved him to
No.
SmackDown, they found a new the guy, and Roman's not
Right.
the guy for at least 10 years, so couldn't be not the guy.
But I see them putting him with his cousins, Jimmy and Jay.
Yeah. Well, even if
Yeah, the Bulls aren't on any of the SmackDown house shows after WrestleMania
yeah,
at all. They're not advertised.
yeah,
They're going to Raw.
even if it's still a good thing on this one because you just have to feel happy for the Usos. Been in the company for 10 years and now they're finally on the Mania main show. That's just a good thing,
Right.
And doubtful that they're the curtain jerker. They're gonna be in the meat of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to be an early. They're going to be in the meat of the show based on the chemistry with the New Day alone.
Yeah.
I mean, last year the New Day and the Usos tore many pay-per-views down.
Yeah.
They
And
stole
that's-
the show every time you turned around. They stole it.
Yep.
I also think we're actually going to get to see a bit more of Harper and Rowan's in-ring ability. We know Rowan has it, or Harper has it, but
Oh God,
I think
Harper's got it. Harper's got it in spades.
I
Yeah.
think we're actually going to get more of a match out of this instead of just them coming in and bulldozing.
Yeah. And that's
Of the show stealer.
It could be.
Mhm.
I see it as that.
Yeah. It says something with people give Road Dogg a lot of flack for how he books the women, but you gotta admit, the guy knows how to book tag team wrestling. It says something that there's at least two other teams, Benjamin and Gable and the Fashion Police, who you could say, yeah, they also deserve to be in this match, but then you think the Usos and New Day may be one of the best pure tag team feuds WWE's ever done. So
Of course.
you can't really say that they deserved it, even though they absolutely deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I mean,
I mean, no, but okay.
this goes back to Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era. Usos, New Day go out and put on a match that tears the house down. They come to the back and they say to the match that comes on after them, top that. That's
Go ahead.
that is something you don't see anymore. There is, the proverbial brass ring that Vince and everybody has talked about is there. It's just that nobody is reaching out to grab it. Once the Usos went heel and became more like their rough edge selves and got rid of the face paint and the bright colors and became these like thugs. Listen to the crowd. They're over as faces organically. And it's not because they're cool heels. It's because the fans are appreciating the work that they're actually doing in the ring now. It's not all cartoonish anymore. It's more real.
Yeah, well, even beyond that, the fact that they have gotten rougher edged has made their in-ring work better. Like, the Usos have always been a good team, but the best they were, even in the face paint, was WWE's non-union answer to the Young Bucks. But now they're more than that.
But more along the lines of, let's say, LIJ.
Mm-hmm.
They go out there, they don't give two shits and beat the hell out of everybody. They have their comedic moments, don't get me wrong. Just like LIJ does. They're not all comedy. LIJ is a lot of business, too. I mean, I've been watching a lot of their matches lately, and I'm like, because we all remember it was bad. Was it Fale that tore up the Hiromu's cat?
Yeah, Fale killed Daryl.
Killed Daryl.
Mm-hmm.
That was mean. That was something mean. So,
Anyway,
but
okay. Final question.
Go ahead, Tonya.
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
I thought you started to say something. That's why I said, go ahead.
That was me.
I'm good.
That was me. Okay, final thoughts. Who's gonna win on this triple threat? Who do you want to see win? I think that's the biggest question.
I'd like to see Usos win, but probably Harper and Rowan.
Mm-hmm.
They need it. They need it to prove that they're real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd like to see the New Day win again, but I think the Bludgeon Brothers have to win.
Yep, the Bludgeon Brothers would basically move the whole thing out into it. And again, the tag division is so good top to bottom that they need someone like the Bludgeon Brothers who could believably work with everybody in the division. So.
Well, they need to build upon the beatdown that they put on both the New Day and the Usos from Fastlane too.
Yep. Yep, but it also works because the Usos and New Day are so high above everyone else right now that you can't buy them defending against anybody. The Bludgeon Brothers, I could buy them defending against the stripper cops. I can buy them defending against Benjamin and Gable. I can buy them defending against the Ascension. I can buy them defending against the Authors of Pain or Sanity or whoever comes up after the draft. So they could work with everybody on SmackDown.
Yeah. Tonya, Tonya, what's your opinions on this match?
Well, I would like the Bludgeon Brothers to win because I am a Luke, and he was shafted last WrestleMania, and hopefully he was. He should have at least in the match, but he has a championship match this year, and I want him and Rowan to win, and run through the division a little bit. Luke Harper is great. I'm not too big on Rowan, but hey, he's with Luke, so I'm going for the Bludgeon Brothers.
Well, there's a scary thought with this though. Uh-huh. Rowan has injury issues. That's the only thing I'm worried about. They put the straps on him, and all of a sudden, Rowan winds up hurt again.
Yeah,
that's been a problem with Eric Rowan.
Yeah. But even if this team is good on its own merits there, and worst comes to worst, Harper's badass enough that he could defend us 1-on-2 match like Roman did. And if he was...
It's a lot of big guys.
Yeah. If he was shafted, I don't think he was because, honestly, I think that if it was Rowan who was in the place of them for Wyatt versus Orton last year, people aren't saying, but he held the match together, he should be in it. This seemed like it wasn't Harper who held the match in, but Brody Lee, not Luke Harper, was the one who was going in for it. But if Harper's so good, then he could work 2-on-1 if needed.
I think he could. I think Harper could.
Hold on, wait a minute. Rewind. What did you say about Brody Lee?
I think that if the situation was reversed, if Harper was injured last year and it was Rowan inside the Randy Orton Bray Wyatt feud, You don't hear but he held this feud together this moment. Even though I think
he would have if Eric Rowan was in the feud and he actually held the feud together, you would have heard it. Luke Harper held the feud together. That's why people that though. It wasn't just him. He was the best part.
He was. I'm not going to dispute that fact.
It turned into a cartoonish foolery after Randy Orton beat him. It was over with. The goodness between all that Wyatt family stuff, it was over with once he left. It's undeniable. Go back and watch that Mania match. That's a joke.
I agree that Wyatt Orton did go into it, but I don't think that Harper being added to that match would have made it so much better. That's my difference.
They wouldn't have put the hallucinations in there.
Mm-hmm.
Which I never did understand it. It was, that was, Orton never reacted to it. The only one who reacted to all of that shit was the referee. He was constantly jumping out of the ring. Orton's like, "Oh, okay, it's this segment now."
Yeah,
I'm not saying give championship. Let Randy Orton win because he was somehow the good guy in all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But the man could have. He's a great wrestler, and we have a great WWE Championship match this year. We could have had one last year. Mm-hmm. Randy Orton likes working with. That match was lazy. Just take the hallucinative projections out. That match was lazy and tired.
Yeah, but that was basically the problem. All of Randy Orton's work last year was lazy and tired for it, and I don't think that.
Now, when he worked with Luke Harper, he had great matches with Luke Harper last year.
He busted his ass.
Yes, he did. Entire point.
Okay.
I know you love you some Luke Harper, and I'll give Luke Harper love. I ain't going to dispute that. That man is a great performer.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll agree that Harper's a good performer too, but honestly, I just didn't see him as being worthy of the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania. That's what it came down to.
All right. Okay. Anyone else who thinks who's gonna win the triple threat? Anyone else got their points across? Hasn't got their points across.
I'm good.
Chris? Okay.
We're all good.
We're all good. Okay, let's move on. Wait, where's my note? I lost my note. I lost my notes in the puke bucket. Here we are. Okay, so let's go on with the other tag team match for the WWE Raw Tag Team Championship. The Bar versus Braun Strowman and Braun Strowman. I don't care. I'm calling it that.
No, I see it as to be determined, and I'll say this, and I've been saying this since the beginning.
Yes, I know.
Who wants to walk with Elias is going to be the tag partner. Because we all know what WWE stands for.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying as well, because Elias is the best guy right now who doesn't have a dance partner for WrestleMania, so it makes sense.
Unless Vince does what I brought up, which is not so much that I brought up, is that my wife, Legends Lover, brought it up. Team Little Big from the Mixed Match Challenge.
Oh, so you want to drag Alexa Bliss into this mess? Okay.
And that would really be the problem, because there would be two problems that I had said to you before on this one. First off, if Alexa Bliss does this, she would be only the 10th person in history and the first woman to wrestle 2 matches at WrestleMania. I don't think that Alexa Bliss gets that honor. Secondly, if Alexa Bliss does this, Nia Jax is dead, period. Someone that much bigger and that much stronger than Alexa Bliss having it to not only defeat her summarily, but Alexa Bliss is able to fight another match against 2 men the same night. Nia Jax would have to be fired the next day. She would have no credibility left whatsoever.
I agree.
And really, that's the same point, because there's just no good answers to this one. It says something with how the who's the partner going to be who goes in, where you could say, I could buy Elias as the partner. I could buy Alexa Bliss as the partner. I could buy James Ellsworth secretly coming back and he's the partner.
He got killed by Matt Riddle last night.
Heck, I could even
He's
buy.
he's going to get killed. He's going to get killed tonight.
Yeah. Heck, I could even buy.
Sure.
Seth being the
Sure,
partner.
yeah. Sure. He'll get killed tonight.
I could see Kurt Hawkins being his partner, even though he put Kurt Hawkins through a wall.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that would be interesting for the way to finally break the streak, because really, Hawkins' losing streak should end at WrestleMania, and I just don't think he's the Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
You know, we'll have to wait and see who the partner is. That's all.
Yeah.
That one. We can't call the man. Well, let's put it this way. I see possible breakup because of Sheamus's spinal stenosis stuff between Sheamus and Cesaro.
It's been over 7 years now, since 2008. Who's saying that Cesaro is...
What?
Saying Cesaro is? Did we got some? Did we got someone drop out again?
Looks like it.
Yeah, looks like Thomas got dropped out. Okay. He's there. Thomas, we can't. We didn't catch the middle part.
Oh,
he dropped out.
There he went.
There he went. There you go. we're dropping like flies here.
Yeah, I don't know what.
And it's
I
not
don't know
even
what's going on.
It's not even 3 hours yet.
Nope.
We're not even 3 hours in, and everybody's dropping out like flies.
Yeah, another 30 minutes will be 3 hours. Maybe an hour to go after that.
Yeah, maybe an hour to go after that.
Tanya, what's that, Tanya?
It's not gonna be Alexa. It's not gonna be Alexa.
It's not gonna be. I
No.
think I'll
Definitely not.
I'll have to what? I'll have to agree on that one. It's not gonna be her, because Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax, which we will be touching on later. It's going to take up, unless they surprise me with a squash match that lasted for about 5 or 7 minutes with Nia Jax winning. She's not gonna do double duty with Braun Strowman.
They're not gonna do a woman in that match. Period. So
Because of the whole history with how how WWE handled the mixed match thing.
No, they just don't. So.
Okay.
I mean, they have a perfect match where they could do intergender, and there might be some spots because Triple H is always getting beat up by Ronda, but they're not gonna.
You're not
it's
gonna
be a man that comes.
You're not gonna expect anything other than Ronda Rousey body slamming Triple H through a table again.
You know what I was? You know what I would like to see as a finish in that match that we're talking about it briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Armbar by Rousey on Trips.
Armbar. Deliver the arm to the goddess of arm.
It's a mix. It's a mixed tag match, and you know how nitpicky we are. If she taps, people gonna be like, "Well, actually, it's a mixed tag match, and she can't tap out the man."
But Ronda Rousey.
That's why I don't think they're gonna involve Alexa.
Yeah. Okay, but in that match with the shovel.
Mm-hmm.
The queen or the heiress,
$1 billion princess.
Yeah, $1 billion princess, and 2 Olympic medalists, Kurt and Ronda. Ronda with her UFC and MMA background alone could legitimately beat Triple H with an armbar or a knee bar or whatever.
If she's not supposed to tap out the man, though. Right,
but I'm saying, for all we know, that could be exactly what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. To show, hey, I don't think so. Her taking out Stephanie would have been easy, so she decided to take out Triple H instead.
But that also leads to leads to the whole fridge logic problem there, where if that happens, yes, Ronda Rousey looks badass, but then you go with the question, wait a second, Kurt Angle would destroy Stephanie. Why didn't Angle just give her the ankle lock and do it that way?
There's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie is not so much in-ring talent as she is management now.
Yeah.
Whereas Ronda Rousey has actually was in a combat sport.
Yeah.
Legitimate. Ronda Rousey is a more, and this has nothing against Roman, but Ronda Rousey is a more legitimate badass than Roman Reigns is.
Yeah, but at the same time, Ronda Rousey's biggest knock when she was in this one was she wouldn't even fight Fallon Fox, which was bad enough. She said, "No, I will never fight a man whatsoever." She wouldn't.
Yeah. That's true.
Performer, so she would suddenly do that in WrestleMania.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's already put Triple H to the table.
Because it's a fake fight, though. She could also say, this is a performance. This is not a real fight. Which exactly what she is going to say.
Yeah.
If she does tap out a man in wrestling.
Yeah.
I would love to see it happen just to hear Michael
WWE's not doing intergender.
No, I know, but I would love to see her tap Triple H just to hear Michael Cole lose his shit.
Oh, well.
No,
Michael Cole would be screaming, basically having an orgasm in his seat.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Ronda Rousey! I think that'll
where
happen.
What's that, Tanya?
They're going to do the behind the referee's back. They're going to give you the visual. I believe Triple H, he would willingly tap out to Ronda with a smile on his face, probably.
Yeah.
But he can tap, but it's not going to be the official end of the match.
Yeah. At the same time with it, it also has to be mentioned that Triple H tapping to Ronda would be a great visual and people would want to see it, but people really, really, really want to see Stephanie McMahon finally lose, finally get her come up.
Right.
So Stephanie has to be the one to tap to Rousey.
Okay.
I actually
how about a double tap?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's say
Kurt Angle locks the angle lock on Triple H.
No, Ronda locks an armbar on Stephanie. Triple H goes in. Triple H tries to go in and make the save. Okay, then Angle winds up slapping the ankle lock on Trips. Both of them are banging the mat. Then the authority itself gets the entire authority. The two authority figures in Triple H and Stephanie get their comeuppance that they've needed since they were reinstated by John Cena.
Well, like I said, that basically it would work, but the wound is so big for Stephanie McMahon. It's the actual. You can argue it hurt the Divas Revolution because of the fact that she's trying to be such a baby face and everything about the women's evolution, but no one wants to buy it because they think if you really love these women so much, like you say you do, why aren't you giving one of them the win over you and giving them the biggest rub possible in the WWE by saying, okay, you can beat me.
Okay, fair enough. And we are actually going everywhere now. Suddenly with Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, and then suddenly jumped into
let's touch that match because I've got my opinions on it.
What, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax first, or Kurt Angle, Ronda Rousey, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon?
Let's do the Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax first.
Okay,
that was the first minor segue we made.
Okay, tell us what's on your mind.
Sure. Do I see Nia Jax winning? Yes.
Okay.
I see it. Do I see her getting the title? No.
So you're saying there's going
to be shenanigans involved.
Okay, and kind of, sort of dusty finish.
You know, it's going to be count out, DQ because Mickie James interferes, something. You know, something. Unless something happens to Mickey James backstage that takes her completely out of the equation?
Well, it also has to be mentioned the other thing for Mickey James there. Remember, one of the biggest controversies about Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, which is separate, was the fact that Alexa's been fat shaming Nia Jax. But we all remember that Mickey James was part of a fat shaming angle against Laycool before in this.
Oh yeah.
And we also remember that Alexa Bliss was ageist to Mickey James beforehand, and that heel turn for Mickey James made absolutely no sense beforehand. It's highly likely if Mickey James does it, she interferes for Nia's purpose.
Okay, but there's also this. There's another 800-pound gorilla in the room.
Uh-huh.
You know, and Tonya touched on this briefly. Did not, before the fat shaming angle started, did not Alexa Bliss cut a quasi-racist promo on Asuka?
Yes.
And they did nothing with it.
Yeah, but I think now that I see it properly, I think they quickly wanted to sweep it under the rug because they don't want a repeat of, say, Jinder Mahal issue when he was mocking Nakamura with it, because that had a lot of.
Started down that road.
Yeah, I will not deny that it started down that road, but I'm more surprised that it quickly dissipated once they switched attention. Rather than start off with the whole racist thing, they actually switch with an equally questionable angle, which is body shaming. Because they switch, like I said, in this kind of age, you have to expect a quick switch. First, they tried out the racist promo, and then maybe they just, oh shit, we did that with Jinder last year, at the end of last year, and that didn't turn out well. Let's quickly switch it to an equally iffy product, which is body shaming.
You know, I just think that's all a part of Alexa's character. She said that because it's meant to get Asuka over. They were using her that night to get face heat on both Asuka and Nia. She said these things the same night. This was planned. They used her to did that with Asuka. So, isn't that horrible? Then later on that night, a double whammy. So the only thing
I was accused. Go ahead, Tonya. I'm sorry.
The only outcome that is acceptable is that Nia squashes her, and we have a new Raw Women's Champion. There's nothing else that's acceptable for this entire storyline. But a title change, a quick one.
This match
Nia destroys her, walks out champion.
Yeah.
Yes.
This match should be 17 seconds. Nia squash her.
Right.
And then just let the humiliation conga happen. Have Mickey James attack her for the aegis stuff. Have Bailey show up and crack her with a kendo stick. Have Larry Steve show up and leave her for his true love Rusev.
That's probably like next. That's probably
this
for
is
like
next
Monday.
Level bullshit. This is next level bullshit right here.
But like, they're gonna do that on Monday.
We have Total Divas. We have Raw. We have backstage involvement.
Yep.
Everything but the kitchen. Everything but the kitchen sink.
Alexa Bliss doing her fiance wrong. She don't even take him on dates to the Hall of Fame. She's a mother.
Yeah.
She's terrible.
The match should be 5 minutes. 4 minutes, 45 minutes should be Alexa Bliss's tantrum for losing.
How long would that take? About 10 minutes or venting. This is bad. This is I do not deserve this kind of treatment. Suddenly Larry Steve comes in to make the save.
Yep.
We are so going over the whole hype. We are so going off the rails on this idea.
We have not gone off the tracks on this one.
We're about to.
Yet.
With how these guys are, the panel is talking. We are about to. It will happen.
Oh, I'm sure. I'll probably be the one that does it first.
Of course.
I always am.
Anyway, okay. Quick note. Final question. Final thoughts. Who's going to win? Alexa Bliss and Jax?
Jax.
Jax, okay.
Better question is, why would Alexa Bliss win?
Interference. Blind referee interference. Referee don't see it.
Even
Mickey James doing an interference.
even
Mickey
if it
James
was
gets squashed too.
Yeah, Mickey
there
James
is
gets
no
squashed too.
metric you can use for why Alexa Bliss would win.
Oh,
It-
I can think of one.
says-
I can
Larry
think of
Steve
one.
makes the save. Nia Jax doesn't have the heart to squash Larry James.
Yeah. If you use the year at the top thing, Alexa Bliss' year at the top goes in. If you even use it's Vince and he builds around hot blondes, Mandy Rose is right there and she's ready for her close up. There is no reason for Alexa Bliss to win at WrestleMania. It's going to be Nia and it's going to be dominant.
Okay. Anyone else?
Stalwart Jess is having to leave us.
Yep, I apologize for dropping out a little early.
Not a
Yeah.
problem. Not a problem.
That's fine.
Enjoy your weekend, guys.
You too.
Enjoy your WrestleMania weekend as
Enjoy
well.
your WrestleMania time, bud.
And he's out.
Yep.
So Tanya, your thoughts, final thoughts. Who's gonna win? Or how is the match going to be finished up?
Nia Jax, before the match, she beats up Mickey James, sends her into the LED board that I'm sure is going to be on the ring. Gets in the ring. Alexa Bliss runs around, does her little thing, whatever. Bell rings. Samoan drop. 1, 2, 3. Nia Jax, new Raw Women's Championship.
So a
Time to
squash match,
celebrate.
basically.
Exactly.
So a squash match. 10 seconds or 5 minutes?
What I wish it would have
10
happened.
seconds.
What I wish would have happened this past Monday night is because they had Mickey James, Nia Jax, right? This last Monday. Instead of Nia going after Alexa, Nia should have did something that the Wild Samoans used to do.
Which is
Samoan drop your opponent to death. Samoan drop her, pick her up. Samoan drop her again, pick her up. Samoan, just 5 or 6 of them. And leave Mickey James a mess in the ring. That would give us kayfabe storyline as to why Mickey James is not ringside with Alexa. Because Nia knew that Mickey James might interfere. So she's taking her out prior.
Okay.
Would have liked to have seen that.
Okay. But I think we can all agree. I think the rest of the panel can agree that we just have to wait and see what happens. I mean, all of us are hoping for a squash match by Jax on Alexa,
Yes.
leading up to the whole win. I think I agree on that.
Yes.
I'll agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, let's move on to some of the final matches that we have on board. Let's bring out the 400-pound gorilla in the room that has nothing to do with a title match. You have the bearded god that came back, Daniel Bryan, versus the middle management bullshit that we faced for about several months, Shane McMahon. Alongside the inescapable clown that has always been entertaining, Sami Zayn, versus the complaining Kevin Owens, or now complaining Kevin Steen. Anyone looking forward to this match?
Just because it's Daniel Bryan's return, but other than that, it was basically the same thing that we've seen for the last 6 to 8 months. So,
And I would have to add the whole caveat that if Owens and Zayn win, they will be rehired to SmackDown.
but at the same time, there's also the case where Owens and Zayn they mentioned rehired to SmackDown. So it's perfectly possible they could just jump to Raw on Monday. So
Yeah, exactly. They get hired by Stephanie McMahon and Triple H and Kurt Angle on what kind of grounds, I don't know.
yeah,
just because they are available to be hired, we just hire them. Yay!
yeah. Just say it was for superstar shakeup purposes.
I mean, if you want to go with continuity, Triple H played a pretty big factor in Kevin Owens becoming Universal Champion. So I can see him just like, yeah, you're good. You got a job.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, with-
I mean, I won't. I would agree on continuing the storyline where Triple H knows Kevin Owens because he puts the belt on Kevin Owens for the first time for the universal title belt.
But if you use that one, there's also the continuity era where the whole point of Sami Zayn on Raw was that he was saying, Raw sucks. I want to be on SmackDown. I want to be on SmackDown. I want to be on SmackDown.
That's before he went to SmackDown, though.
Yeah.
That's before. That's before he went to
Look
SmackDown.
at what happened on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Probably he comes back. Probably he comes back on Raw and say and kisses Stephanie's ass, not figuratively,
I was
but just
so wrong.
Yeah. But that's really.
I was so wrong.
I mean, he's a heel now, so
if you say that Kevin Owens would go back because of Triple H, then wouldn't Stephanie and Triple H say, "Oh no, you didn't like it here. You can go back to NXT and go there, but we don't want you. You didn't want to be on Raw beforehand. Now you don't get to be on Raw now."
Wow.
But no, they're not gonna say that to Sammy.
Oh, go ahead and say it, Tanya. Just go ahead. Okay.
Oh, now she's quiet.
Oh, now she's gone. She's not gonna. Okay, fine. I'll leave it as it is. She did. Never mind. Anyway, okay, fine. So, biggest question: who's gonna win? The middle management, who we now have to cheer, or
who made that? Who made that decision anyway? Well, Owens has been heel for what, 2.5 years now?
Several months. 2.5 years. Okay, if you want to cross
since the Festival of Friendship.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I see Zayn and Owens winning.
Yep.
Because they're not going to let these whole you're fired shit things never stick.
Uh-huh.
The public firings in the ring have never really stuck, other than with Bischoff, but his contract was up, so. They may fire a wrestler because, quote unquote, fire a wrestler to write him off of TV for a while because he's injured or she's injured, something. But in a general sense, no.
Okay.
Yep.
So who do you think will win? Owens, Bryan, or
I see Shane. I see Shane turning on Bryan.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I see too. So
in the match,
but what kind of reason would Shane turn on Bryan, since Shane was the one perpetrator who always gets into Owens and Zayn's face?
See,
what would be?
Shane is a McMahon, and McMahons are inherently evil on the TV. So, plus Daniel Bryan is coming back to wrestling, so now you have Shane McMahon versus Daniel Bryan on SmackDown to be built around.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Good argument on that one. Yeah, okay.
Or if they lose the match, Shane turns around and fires Daniel Bryan as general manager.
But that doesn't really fire him from being a wrestler at SmackDown. Good idea.
But we know that Daniel Bryan is not going to work a full-time schedule either, because after this match, he'll have to go do his protocol testing.
Of course.
Because he hasn't really taken a bump since it's been 3 weeks now?
You can say that. Wait, not 2 weeks.
I said 3.
Or not 3 weeks. I think 2 weeks,
But
It's not 3 weeks. It's 2.
he has strict
He hasn't really
protocols he
taken
has
a
to
bun.
follow in order to continue to stay cleared for the ring.
Yes, because after his last bump, he needs to be reevaluated, and if they say okay, you're good, then you can take a bump again. So yeah,
Right. Which
kind of in a sense, but okay.
Tonya and everybody, everybody on this panel would agree that
Mm.
all the wrestlers should go through it
Mm-hmm.
for their own safety.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
It's so much attention has been put on Brian and his condition, so that's why.
I know, right?
Right.
I know.
But the thing about it is, here is an opportunity for WWE to set the worldwide standard on concussions.
Yeah.
They have a golden
Yeah.
opportunity. It took 3 years to get Daniel Bryan cleared again, and they had to come up with a program and a protocol in order for him to stay cleared.
I mean, yeah, okay.
I'm
all for that.
If a wrestler, if any performer, and I mean any form, male, female, referee, whatever.
Now Taker got dropped out.
You got me going. You got me going. I'm gonna calm down here. Calm it down. Calm it down.
Okay.
Any of male wrestler, female wrestler, referee, announcer shows, if they take some kind of bump and they show any symptoms of concussion, they need to go through that same protocol to protect them.
But that's the problem, because pro wrestling is partially concussion-wise unsafe at any speed. Just the act of learning how to fall will make you have at least one concussion, and so there's always going to be that thing going on. They already have. Plus, you also have stuff like, if you open it up to announcers, take someone like Corey Graves, who was an announcer, but he's an announcer because he was told he can't even take a bump without having a concussion. He probably will never take a bump again because of that. But if it went to that level for impact testing, you'd have to kick him off commentary completely and just fire him outright. Because
no, that's not what I'm saying. They did that for they did that for Corey Graves. Corey Graves does not get touched.
Yeah.
Never noticed. He's never been touched.
Yeah.
And people make statements to the fact about it, which I think is shitty.
Yeah.
Because he can't take a bump. You don't think for 1 second it doesn't kill him that he can't be in the ring? And he's young still. He had his entire career ahead of him.
Yeah. Not only that, but he was basically going to be on the main roster as early as 2014, and now he sees his brother becoming one of the hottest heels in Mexico. So,
yeah. But you don't see him. You don't see him threatening to go do indie work.
Yeah.
Why? Because he's still involved with the WWE. He is on the main roster as an announcer. He made it. He had to take a different road.
But he made it.
He made it. He's a made man in WWE.
Yeah.
But okay.
He this is gonna sound funny.
Sure. Okay.
He replaced Booker T as Captain Flip-A-Lot on the
roster.
No, on the announce table.
On the panel. Okay.
Because on Raw, he's pretty much heel driven. Whereas on SmackDown, he's more face driven. Dude, make up your damn mind.
I mean, I'm not. I'll put my worries on that basket a little bit lesser than one of my greatest worries, because let's be honest, I'm not against the idea that WWE is setting up a precedence for concussion-related injuries and whatnot, and the procedures that you need to take before getting in. It's just that and I already voiced this out last week, the single biggest worry about me about this one match is because now the attention is focused squarely on Daniel Bryan. And what does that what was the damage on? The damage was brought down on the match that was supposed to be the focus, a singles match for the WWE Championship title. is that should have been the focus, and now your focus is going to be directly on Daniel Bryan and Daniel Bryan's match. I mean, sure. Daniel Bryan is back in the ring, yes. And Taker is always saying yes, yes, yes last week, or I think the week before this, but the week before that. So yeah, happy that Daniel Bryan is back. Happy that Daniel Bryan is doing what he's doing. It's just that my worry is that it sucks out all the attention that we're supposed to give on AJ Styles versus Nakamura towards Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon versus Owens and Zayn. That, or I'm just pulling out straws and I'm just talking straight out my ass, and it's going to be fine.
No, because I brought this up in the threads. The Daniel Bryan stands will not be satisfied until Daniel Bryan is WWE champion again. Mm-hmm. They're going to shit on every champion, whether it be AJ Styles, Nakamura, Owens, Zayn, or anybody. Even John Cena. Hell, they could bring back The Undertaker and put it on him. And the Deep Rise stands will shit on it. Why? Because Daniel Bryan does not have the strap.
But there is one X factor, and that ties into this one. First off, for Styles Nakamura, we were able to touch on Styles Nakamura with Charlotte versus Asuka on it, but with them being the same match already. So there's that there. And secondly, Nakamura has the X factor that Daniel Bryan said many times that he and Nakamura are great friends. They were roommates in the New Japan dojo in the U.S. They badly wanted to face each other for over 15 years now. So if Nakamura is the champion, even if the D-Bry stands are all in full force, they'll be begging for Nakamura's Bryan just for that match to happen, just to see that match happen.
But if the Daniel Bryan don't win, they're going to shit out. That'll be turning the stands, the D-Bry stands will turn on him so bad that they'll basically make Nakamura a heel.
Yeah. That is a big concern, but at the very least, the fans will accept Nakamura as champion just to get Nakamura Bryan.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that too. Final thoughts.
Apparently none.
None. Okay. Last thoughts. Who's going to win? Owens and Zayn?
Owens and Zayn.
Okay. Taker? If you're still there. Oh, he needs some water. Tonya, if you're still there.
I don't know. They kind of painted themselves in the corner by like, okay, we want Owens and Zayn to come back. But then, do you really want Daniel Bryan to lose his first match back? So I really don't know who's going to win this one. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I have no idea.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to the last two matches. And I'm going to... I'm going to leave the obvious one last. Let's talk about the WWE Championship title match. AJ Styles versus Nakamura. Even though I think we already waxed lyrical on that a few minutes before. Several minutes before, I think.
Yeah.
But we can talk about it again.
Well, this match seems like the first match where we know whether AJ Styles or Shinsuke Nakamura wins won't be the real question. This is the first match where I think they're going for Meltzer stars here. And the big question is, can it get 5?
That's a good question. Can it get 5? The last time we saw Nakamura and Styles duke it out on AJPW, remind me again, what did Meltzer give them?
It got 5.
Okay. So will there be lightning striking twice on this one?
They're both good enough wrestlers so that if Nakamura gives a crap, then they could easily get 5.
Oh hell, that's not entirely a question altogether. Nakamura will have to definitely give a shit because it's Styles.
Yeah, and that's really the big question on it, where Nakamura is a little bit like Becky Lynch, where it's not about making sure that you're going all out on it, but you've got to treat that match in middle of nowhere, North Dakota, as being the same importance as New Orleans and WrestleMania on it, and at least saying, okay, I'm not going to openly mail it in, or if you are mailing it in, find a way to mail it in safely without making people know you're mailing it in.
Yeah.
Who's this?
Nakamura.
I don't think Nakamura Styles either. I don't think Nakamura's nailed it in with Styles.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been enough of a build with the, let's see, what was it? The week before last, Nakamura loaded up the Kinshasa and came up short on AJ.
Yeah. And AJ returned the favor.
Right. And then now I brought this to everybody's attention last week. Did the Japanese insult to AJ Styles of patting him on the head? If anybody would understand it, it was AJ Styles. And he made a point to say he patted me on my head like I was a dog. That is exactly the insult that comes from that to someone from Japan if you pat them on the head like that.
Yeah, and AJ Styles returned the favor this week.
Right, and you saw the look on Nakamura's face. He's like, you son of a bitch.
It's on now. It's on now.
It's on now.
But even before that, fans would know that in America because that was a whole thing Dana Brooke did in NXT. She would pat Devin Taylor on the head, and people wanted Devin Taylor to murder her, even if she was an announcer.
Dana Brooke patted Asuka on the head. And what happened? Asuka murdered her.
Yes.
That's true.
People who, I was in the Marine Corps. I served over in Japan. I served over in Okinawa. I made that mistake once. Not because I didn't know back then. Man, you want to talk about getting... Yeah, I got slapped. And someone explained it to me later. Don't do that. This is why. So I make one mistake, I learn from it.
Yeah.
You want to insult someone from the Orient? Pat them on the head like an animal. They will. You think Asuka can go off in Japanese? I was cussed out in Japanese and I had no idea what the hell they were saying to me. To this day, I don't.
Okay. Sounds... Yeah, okay.
It was a mistake. I went back over there. I went back over to later to that person and did the apology with the proper bow.
Yeah.
Showing that I was, I felt bad.
Yeah. Because the proper bow to really apologize is really bow.
Yeah.
Almost to a 90-degree standpoint. So
I basically did that. I bowed past 90 degrees.
Yeah. The accepted point is 90 degrees, but you can go over just to show that you're really sorry. But
it was accepted. It was accepted, and I gained respect.
Yeah, thankfully. Okay, but biggest question then, biggest and probably the biggest question that I can ask for this match: who's gonna win?
Knock.
And crown the first ever Japanese champion for WWE.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Nakamura wins. It gets at least 4.75.
Okay. Considering the fact that Meltzer gave 5 on the NJPW match. Okay.
Yeah.
Meltzer will never give a WWE title match a 5. Even if it is Nakamura Styles. And to make matters
worse, or
no, to tie up a loose end, Asuka Charlotte, if there's no cash in or anything, Asuka wins going away to become the first Japanese women's champion in WWE history.
Mhm.
Women's single champion, I should say. Because the Bomb Angels had a tag team way back in the day.
Mhm.
Shit, almost 30 years ago.
Yep.
Anybody disagree with that?
Not at all. Right, again, I may not be a fan of Asuka's streak. I may think that the streak's going in, but Charlotte's not the right person to beat the streak.
Okay.
No, I've said this. There's two people that would gain a major rub and really get shined up if they took the streak. One of them is Bailey,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one is Becky.
Mm-hmm.
One of those two.
Yeah.
So no
And I
Mela.
added Ember Moon to that list because the whole NXT thing made it clear that Ember wants Asuka's streak. So I'd add her to that list as the third. So.
Yeah, but I'm saying of current main roster talent, there's only two.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Bailey and Becky. And yes, Matt, I know you're jumping up and down and going crazy over it. And no, the iconic
Which Matt?
Metal Matt, and no, the iconic duo is not going to co-win the Women's Battle Royal either. He said that a while ago. I had to make sure to point that out.
You always rag on the guy when it comes to the
I would
iconic.
not buy the iconic duo co-winning the Battle Royal, but I could buy Billie Kay eliminating herself so Peyton Royce wins as they're the final two. Because Billy's basically the sidekick to Peyton by now, so.
Yeah.
And I'll say Billie
Kay hurting because I'm
Yeah.
as big a Billy fan as Matt is.
Yeah.
So.
It is hurting because in terms of experience, Billie Kay has more in spades than Peyton Royce.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I would like to see. I would like to see friction between those two.
It won't happen yet. It won't happen yet.
It's going to happen, and when it does, Billie Kay is going to destroy Peyton Royce.
Yeah, but that's really the same point where it goes back to what you said earlier with Bailey should turn because Pamela Martinez was such a good heel on the indie scene. Yes, Jessie McKay was one of the best faces on the indie scene for years, but that does not mean that Billie Kay should turn face on Peyton Royce anytime soon.
It's an option, basically. I think when people are saying that she's a good heel, she was a good heel back in the indies.
Yeah.
That just states that it's an option for WWE to take. And hopefully they take the option for Bailey. I know I'm jumping on hoops again because we just jumped from AJ Styles and Nakamura back to Bailey and the whole thing, but But again, okay. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see on that one. On both of them. Because I think this is going to be possibly going to be match of the night. Match of the pay-per-view. One of the best match in the pay-per-view, unless we're going to talk about the last match that I'm just going to touch on. Last but not least, anyways, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal Championship. Yeah, match of the pay-per-view. One of the best in the pay-per-view, unless we're going to talk about the last match that I'm just going to touch on. Last but not least,
Thomas,
Brock versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal Championship.
Thomas, something just happened here.
Oh, I was trying to get onto the YouTube thread to see it. So.
One of the best.
You turn your volume up on the thread, will you?
Unless we're going to talk about.
Does that work?
Yeah, because we can hear MDS talking.
Somehow.
Yeah, I was trying to go on to check out the chat, but I didn't know how to do that. So
you got to mute the screen.
Yeah, we just couldn't mute it. Just
we have a special guest sitting in chat this morning, or I should say now this afternoon. Mr. Matt DSM shows up. Good morning, or good afternoon, Matt. It's about time you come to catch a live thread.
Yeah, number one, and number two, we just
Tanya
lost. Yeah,
Tanya
had to go
pick up her kids. So thanks, Tanya.
Thanks a lot. Okay, let's get back to this because sadly, I didn't really have to touch on. Sadly, Tanya isn't here to wax lyrical on Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we've already faced the whole scenario of this coming up, with Roman Reigns treading the golden path to WrestleMania and the title.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a match where, honestly, they've been building for this for 4 years now. It's time to crack or get off the pot. Give Roman victory over Lesnar now.
It's 3 years. WrestleMania 31. This is 34. It's 3 years.
Yeah,
3 years.
Before WrestleManias, so.
Oh yeah.
No, because the WrestleMania 30, the last one in New Orleans, was the Daniel Bryan ascension.
Mm-hmm.
Angle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Roman was not on that card.
Yeah.
By him as a solo act, he was not on that card.
Yeah. But the point is basically the same, where they've been building for this match for so long. It's time to finally do it. Rip it off like a Band-Aid. Get Roman to beat Lesnar. Get your big moment, and finally anoint this guy. The biggest problem with Reigns is that they haven't truly anointed him yet.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
and everybody knows Lesnar's contract is up after this date.
Yeah, this is your one chance to do it. Do it already. If you don't do it right now, you're never going to get Lesnar back, and then Roman Reigns will never be the guy anymore, because he'll have proven he's not able to beat Lesnar.
Agreed.
Block. It's out there publicly. Dana White was on a show yesterday called Get Up on ESPN, and that's got Mark Greenberg from Mike and Mike Days, or Mike Greenberg from Mike and Mike Days, Michelle Beadle, Jalen Rose, and they had a guy. Now that you're going to laugh at this name, MDS.
Okay, who?
Booger McFarland. I think Booger's a nickname, but that's beside the point. That's what he goes by. It is spelled Booger. Booger.
Okay, my biggest question is: Booger McFarland worse or Bubba the Love Sponge worse?
Bubba the Love Sponge, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. No matter what Booker McFarland does, I don't think he's done the things Bubba the Love Sponge has done. So
no.
Okay. Fair enough.
Booger McFarland is a former defensive lineman in the NFL, former Super Bowl champion, all that good stuff. But anyway, they had Dana White on there yesterday. And Dana White publicly stated Brock is coming back to UFC. If that doesn't tell you Brock's done after this, I don't know what does. Thomas, what do you think?
Well, I was just saying silent because it's the truth. Brock is basically done. And that means that you wasted the last 3 years of it. You had the chance on this one. Now you don't get another chance. Do it. Anoint Roman. And then from here, just have him steamroll everybody. Because for a top babyface, Roman loses way too much. And we know that someone who always wins and never loses, they may get Goldberg chants by the IWC, but the casual fan loves somebody who always wins and never loses. You always win, you never lose. You're going to get the fans to love you.
That's right. And it's going to be interesting, to say the least, that when this is all said and done, Roman will be champ. The IC title is going to drop back down to its mid-car ranking. No longer be the main title on Raw, because the Universal title will be there, and that's what we need.
Yeah.
That's what fans need, is a visible title with a visible champ, a believable champ.
Yeah.
And over the last 3 years, Roman has shown that he can make a title.
Yeah.
He has worked from underneath. a lot with people. He has made people look like $1 million. He has. I'm sorry, and a lot of people are not going to agree with me, but
Okay.
he has the skills of Ric Flair to make the heel he's facing look like $1 million in a loss.
Yeah.
It's there. He has it all now. He has it all. It is time. He's
Okay.
been groomed enough. I mean,
and
Jesus.
if you really still think he needs to groom him enough, just do the Universal Title Open Challenge and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You keep Roman showing how good he is, and you keep all the people who are saying, but my favorite's not the star of the show, and you give him a bunch of good world title caliber matches with Roman Reigns so they look amazing, and do something like that. Everybody
And now would be the time, especially on Raw, with this change and Roman getting the title, that they go to a seeding format where the wrestlers that are not involved directly with Roman are competing amongst themselves to be #1 contender for his title at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Rank your non-champions and create like a top 5 or a top 10. And within those, ranks, you're wrestling each other to move up, to face Roman.
That I don't really think happens because of the fact that they just tried seeding with SmackDown, and every other time they've tried seeding on it, it just doesn't work that well. Having seeding in it doesn't really matter
because it's they're not making it important. They tried to make a storyline out of it. Don't make it a storyline. Make it a requirement that you have to earn the #1 spot, not just by beating Roman, but by beating. Let's say you're number 6 in the rankings. Let's say Thomas, you're number 6. Or no, let's look at it this way. There's 3 of us here, right?
Yep.
For hypothetical situation's sake, Thomas, you're 3. MDS, you're 2, and I'm 1. Okay. You and Thomas have a match to
determine who gets to face you.
Right. And Thomas beats you. He jumps over you into the 2 spot.
2nd spot, yeah.
And you drop to 3.
Yeah. But
then Thomas and I have a match to determine if
who
you
wins.
face Roman. If I win, I go face Roman. If Thomas wins, I drop to 2nd. Thomas goes and faces Roman at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It can work.
Yeah, but there's also the case where at the same time there's 2 different problems for it. First problem, of course, is that, say, for instance, your example, I face MDS for 2 on this one, and he happens to win, and he's still 2. Then Taker faces Kurt Hawkins, and he still wins. If he wins, big whoop, he's still #1 contender because he beat Hawkins. And if he loses, is Hawkins suddenly #1 contender now and gets to face
It
Roman?
depends on what his ranking is. Let's say Hawkins is number 10. He may jump up to 5 because he beat me. It doesn't mean he's automatically 1.
Yeah.
He has to work. Look at how they do it in boxing. Sometimes you have a number 10 ranked fighter against a number 2. The number 10 ranked fighter wins against the number 2. He jumps up to 4th. He jumps up to 4th in line. It's all, it can be done.
Yeah.
WCW did it for years and it worked. The NWA did it for years and it worked. Why can't? Yeah, I know the big problem. The biggest issue,
which is
society today being, I want my shit now.
Not even that, but you used WCW and NWA as the example, and you have the biggest issue there where you had the Steamboat Flair one, and then Terry Funk attacked Flair. But the problem was that Funk couldn't fight him because, no, I know that you want Flair, and Flair wants you badly, but you're not in the top 10, so you're not eligible to fight him. And that
that gives that person who really wants Roman a chance, a reason to get himself in the top 10 and work up, become this irresistible force. You can create stars this way, which is something the WWE has forgotten how to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, it could work. Their speculative whole ranking system, they already wanted to try it on SmackDown, and that spectacularly failed.
Because the fact that the SmackDown ranking system effectively became top 10 faces, and you need faces and heels to do it properly on it. So
That's true.
and it would go with the problem because you have the wrestlers vote for people who miss themselves. In kayfabe, you end up with top 10 faces. You have the fans do it, and you have the reason that TNA's bombed when they tried the ranking system, where all the fans decided, we don't care about the storyline. We want Desmond Wolfe fighting for the title, and we want him now, so Desmond Wolfe is number one. And that killed the whole ratings there.
That's true. I mean, I'm not going to speculate on that because that is actually what's happened at SmackDown.
Yeah.
I mean, but okay, let's quickly beat on the biggest question. Although I think we already answered the biggest question: who's going to win?
Yeah.
Let's go on to a better question. How is the match going to proceed? Is Brock Lesnar going to work? Is Brock Lesnar going to dominate and then babyface come back and Roman Reigns wins, or is this going to be an all out beat the shit out of each other until Roman gets the pin? 1, 2, 3.
I think it's going to be a remake of WrestleMania 31. I think we're getting the same match that 31 had, only without Rollins cashing in, and we get Reigns getting the win the way he was supposed to. And part of me thinks that Reigns is going to develop a submission finisher in this match, like John Cena did against Triple H at Mania 22.
I can see that. But getting back to what you were saying, and I heard what you were saying, Thomas, when I stepped away. Have the wrestlers do it, you get faces. Have the fans do what they want whatever stand is strongest wins. Okay. Create a council.
Honestly, if I was
hold on, hear me out. You'll understand it. Of some people from management in WWE and some fans. And they go into a room and set the initial top 10. That way you'll have the proper mixture of faces, heels, and favorites.
Well, that's why if I was doing the council in kayfabe, the basic form would be the top two, the GM and the commissioner of their brand, the champion themselves, so they can say, wait a minute, I want to fight this guy. I want him on the championship committee. You have the GM or commissioner of the other brand on this one to say who with complete independent thing they should be on it, and then the fifth one goes to a fan vote.
Right, and it would work.
Yeah,
it's completely non. What's the word I'm looking for?
Unbiased.
Thank you. It's not. It's unbiased. It's non-biased. You have Stephanie and Kurt, Roman, Shane, Daniel, and the fans. And it would take a majority vote for each spot.
Yeah. Well, that's why you probably just put Shane instead of Shane or Daniel.
Shane or where you have a 5-person panel with the fans being one vote, Roman being one, Stephanie, Kurt, and Vince.
Yep.
And you do that on both brands. On the SmackDown brand, you put Daniel and Shane, Stephanie, or I would say more so Kurt, not so much Stephanie because of Vince. The fans and Vince.
Yeah.
And set it that way. And then use the IC belt as the top prize for the number one contender or the U.S. title. Put those back where they belong. Because we all know that up until the middle 90s, I want to say in WCW, the U.S. title was the gateway to the world title.
Mm-hmm.
In WWF/E, the Intercontinental title was the gateway to the WWE title.
Mm-hmm.
That was your grooming period on both of those titles to become the big belt champion.
Yeah, and that was basically another problem that Roman had. He never had that good Intercontinental title reign before he was given the book or given this title.
And now Roman's a Grand Slam winner already.
Yeah.
Do I have a problem with that? No. But he'll be the first to have held all 5 major titles in WWE.
Yeah.
If when he wins tomorrow night, he will be the first 5 belt champion WWE has ever had. Yes, everybody, history will be made tomorrow. Take a shot.
Take a shot. Okay. Okay. So a repeat of WrestleMania 31 without the interference. And of course, we're going to see the crowning of a new champion.
Yes.
Yay. Yay. I'm looking forward to that.
And he'll be the first centuple champion WWE's ever had.
The first what?
5.
Quintuple. Okay.
Quintuple. Yeah, excuse me. Quintuple champion. You're correct.
Okay.
I stand corrected. Because he's had the old tag belts, world tag team champion. He's had the U.S. He's had the world, when it was a single belt. He's had the IC, and he's going to add the Universal. Roman Reigns, ladies and gentlemen, has won every belt imaginable except for SmackDown Tag Team, which we already know he ain't going to be going to SmackDown for about 10 years.
Yeah.
Yep. That's pretty much it.
And once he goes over there, he'll tag with someone and get the tag belts and be a
sextuple champion.
Yep. And create more history. And he will be the most decorated member of the Anoa'i family. He already is.
You mileage me very on that one, but yeah, he's arguably.
His father was nothing any more than a tag team champion. His cousin, The Rock, was WWE. His cousin was a WWE, IC, and I think he was a tag champion with Austin, was he not? That's it.
Oh, didn't he win the Intercontinental Championship?
I said Intercontinental. That was his first belt when he was with Nation of Domination.
Yeah, and then you said he won the WWE title and the tag title.
And
then you missed out the IC.
No, I did not. He won the WWE title, the IC title, and the tag titles is what I said.
Yeah.
Okay.
If Roman Reigns pulls this off tomorrow, he is already the most decorated member of the Anoa'i family. He's just going to add to his legacy. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, but when Roman Reigns finally does get out of wrestling and retires, he's going to the Hall of Fame based on what he's already accomplished.
Okay. So let me just check.
Yeah, but he was already going in Hall of Fame first ballot just on what he accomplished. Remember, last night we saw the guy who gave birth to a hand go in first ballot. So
No, he didn't give birth to the hand.
Mae Young gave birth to the hand.
Mae Young gave birth to the hand. He was the one that
he helped.
He impregnated Mae Young.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the point stands that if Mark Henry can go in first ballot, of course Roman Reigns can go in first ballot. So
yeah. What is it? He is a World Championship, WWE Championship, Intercontinental Championship, Tag Team Championship with Mankind, The Undertaker, and Chris Jericho. Yeah, most of that.
That's The Rock, right?
Yep.
See, that's only 3 titles.
4. if you want to split WCW World Championship and WWE Championship into two.
Plus, there is also the long-standing backstage theory that The Rock won the European title in a game of Madden. Keep that in mind, too.
Yeah.
Well, the European title never really was one of the major titles. They never counted as one of the major four.
They did when Shawn Michaels was the first Grand Slam.
Right. That is correct, because that was before the buyout.
Yeah.
Yeah. And arguably speaking, he won the title 4 times. He's the 10-time world champion. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And getting back to John Cena and The Undertaker.
Real quick. Okay.
John Cena already has a legacy. We were talking about him being the one to retire Undertaker, and then everybody saying, let John Cena have it. John Cena's already got something.
Mm-hmm.
He's tied with who? Ric Flair, 16-time champion.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that enough?
Yeah. Yeah, because 16 times and doing it all in one promotion, you can make the case that John Cena's legacy is even better than Flair's because he did it all in WWE.
Flair did basically all of his with NWA, even though WCW when that was after most of the territories were gone.
Yeah,
but WCW was still considered NWA back then. So Flair did it the same way. He did it all in one for one promotion, the NWA.
Yeah, but that's my point. He was a 14-time NWA champion and a 2-time WWF champion. That's where my point is. John Cena was a 16-time champion in the WWE.
True. And I still say, and I know this is going to cause controversy with you, Thomas, they still need an overall world champion in WWE.
Yeah. I could absolutely see that one.
Across all 3 divisions. Men's, women's, and tag.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That'll give us 12 belts, basically.
Well, yeah, basically.
Well, honestly, if it was up to me, they'd have a world champ, a tag champ, a women's champ, and then you have the Raw champion, the SmackDown champion, the NXT champion, which is basically what you said. So,
yep. And I did a posting on that 2 years ago, and man, did I get so much flack.
Yeah. Heck, if you're doing it this way, then the other possibility I was thinking, instead of just the seeding one, is that you actually be the first place to canonize the linear champion thing that they have in this one, where they keep ranking who the linear champ is. You give it to one person, so like say the number 1 contender after Roman. Whoever beats him automatically gets that one, and they're in. Whoever's champ at the pay-per-view fights Roman.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And how hard is that?
Yeah.
It's not that hard. So yeah. I'll
Yep, it just has whoever's the champ at the time gets it, and then no matter what, if it turns out it's Seth Rollins, great, it's Seth Rollins. Turns out it's Kurt Hawkins, well, it's your fault for making Kurt Hawkins beat Seth Rollins, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true.
I mean, there's so many ways we can go with this.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all sitting here spitballing and putting out new ideas. Because like we said, I think before MDS came on, or right after you came on, WWE has spies.
Of course.
That listen to every podcast involving wrestling. To get ideas and to steal them and incorporate them. I don't remember the exact thing, but I know it was it was something I threw out there, and not 2 weeks later on Raw, it freaking happened. And I was like, I said that. It's nice. It's nice when you throw something out there in public, in a public forum like this is. And later on see it actually happen. It's like, oh my God, they do listen.
Mm-hmm.
They do hear good ideas and they make them work.
Yeah.
And it could have been just someone on creative that heard the idea, took it to Vince and said, hey, this came from some guy on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's less that they actually listen to the ideas and more the theory that enough people making enough fan theories all over will eventually get one right. Heck,
Oh, of course.
George R.R. Martin said that with Game of Thrones, where someone
yes.
ended up getting the right answer just because everyone was predicting everything else and found out what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Something I forgot to do at the beginning.
Sure, go ahead.
We lost another wrestler this week.
Oh. Ooh.
Johnny Valiant
Oh.
was, I believe, as a pedestrian crossing the street in Pittsburgh and was literally run over by a truck.
Wow. It did.
If you don't know who Johnny Valiant is
it a hit and run?
No.
Or
No,
did
no,
the
no.
The guy stayed there.
The guy stayed there. He called 911. He
okay.
didn't know who he had hit at the time.
Mhm.
It wasn't until later that he was in the hospital. And after he passed away, that even the hospital realized who it was. Johnny Valiant and Jimmy Valiant were a tag team of the mid-70s who I saw in the WWA, which was part of Vince or part of Vern Gagne's AWA promotion. WWA was owned by Dick DeBruiser and Wilbur Schneider out of Indianapolis. The Valiants were heel tag team champions of the promotion, and boy, could they bleed.
Mm-hmm.
But they put on some great matches. There, you can find them on YouTube. Shootin' Debris sends their condolences to the entire family. I believe his last name was Sullivan, if my memory serves correct.
Yeah.
It's a terrible loss. He was young. He was 71 years old. He was young.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be missed.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny, rest in peace.
Okay.
What a way to end.
Of course. What a way to end.
Yep.
Plugs, go for it there, MDS.
Well, we can plug. Okay. First things first, we can plug on all our guests who had dropped like flies. I'm not being mean. I'm just saying that we got people who drop like flies. But thank you so much to StalwartJester, Chris with four zeros, and Tonya Rodgers. All of the Tonya, you can catch Tonya Rodgers on Twitter at Militia Malice Joe.
Yeah.
If I am correct. If I am not correct. Yeah, I think so.
You're correct.
Yeah, on Militia Malice Joe. She runs the podcast, the Wednesday Night Shootin' podcast with Andrew M. Swift. Of course, you can catch the other two, StalwartJester and Craig with 4 zeros.
5 zeros.
With 5 zeros at Cage Side Seats. They usually predominantly go on the nightly, but they also make their appearances on the daily as well.
Jester's more so daily than he is nightly.
Okay, so flip that. Jester is a daily guy. Craig with 5 zeros is the nightly guy. So there's that. Before I go on with the whole plug, how can they find you, Mr. Thomas Greene?
They can find me at Twitter at tgreene with an E-S Knight with a K S on this one. And they can also find my fantasy booking on ewbattleground.com. And as always, check out the mixtape. It's fire.
That's it? Okay, and that's it. Taker, where can they find you?
You always can find me at Takers_Minion on Twitter. You can find me in the threads on Cage Side Seats in both the daily and the nightly.
Mm-hmm.
Predominantly on the nightly. I am the studying force on the nightly lately.
Sure.
Thomas
Okay.
Green will attest to that.
Yes, very much.
I calm shit down. I keep people in check when they get too far out of line because I don't want to lose what we have.
Yeah. And
Um,
sometimes I need to be kept in check. So
yep.
that's the thing that would be the difference between Tanya probably hasn't known me on these things not being so off the rails, because that's how I was on the daily before heading to the nightly.
Yeah, I put you in line.
Yep.
And oh my God, I got a mark today down on my calendar.
What?
Thomas S. Green actually admitted to getting his ass knocked into line by me.
Oh,
I love it.
on. Oh,
I
come
love it. I love
Oh.
it because, and believe you me, MDS, you saw it. Thomas and I would have some heated discussions, heated arguments.
Honestly, it was different because I only remembered one really heated discussion on it, and that was just after I went to the nightly.
And I got to the point where I was like, let's just agree to disagree and move on.
Yeah.
And you were like, I've never really been told that shit. How do I react? Because it took you a long time to come back from that.
Yeah.
But I think that's when you realize I don't take any shit from anybody.
Yeah. Well, it's mostly the fact that, like I said, I only remember one really bad discussion we had on those ones. And that one, I think, was based on the icons, I think, for that one.
Yeah.
And
I believe you're correct. And
yeah, I think that was the only really heated argument we've ever had, though. So there were some arguments, but never that heated.
And I finally said, let's just agree to disagree.
Yep.
And you gained I gained, or I should say, you gained my respect then.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe I gained yours then.
Well, I try to respect everybody, even the people who are wrong.
You're wrong, but that's beside the
point. Sure. Be confrontational, but be confrontational with respect.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
You know, but the thing about it is that over time, Thomas has become a great ally in some of my discussions. He has.
Yeah. Well, it works when most of the times we actually have similar
thought processes. Yeah.
And as always,
you can catch me on Twitter at Mister Doctor Senju. You can also catch me on the Cage Side Seats. This week
you haven't been around much.
Yeah, I haven't been around much because I was super busy. Number one. Number two, it's WrestleMania weekend. I have told this to Fizz. I have told this to people who listen. Usually on WrestleMania week, I take a week off from Cage Side Seats just to not spoil my, just to not cloud my eyes on viewpoints and anything that could potentially spoil me. So there's that. I'll make my return next week, hopefully after WrestleMania, of course.
Promises.
This guy. I swear to God.
MDS, I love you like a brother, and you know it.
Yeah, and I know what you're going to say afterwards.
What's that?
F you.
No.
Then?
I said I love you like a brother, and you know it. And I was going to leave it right there.
Oh, okay. Okay. Fair enough. Of course, we have our unaffiliated podcasts and affiliated podcasts. We'll start with the affiliated ones with Bitter Boys Club with Brent Brookhouse and Ethan Page. You have Not Your Demographic with Stunning Stella and Enigma Erin. Keeping Up with the Kayfabe, Mark Riley, Jody May Esquire, and Jack King. And last but not least, Bros Before Elbows with Anthony, Farron, and Tommy. Of course, we also have unaffiliated podcasts that are really not affiliated with Cage Side Seats and more so affiliated with or without the Los Ingobernables Day podcast banner. You have Two Guys, One Sport with Crazy Chris Colgan and George Curtain Jerker Ataves. You have the Violent Wrestling Podcast with Ambrose Ali and Prince Moxley Lopez. We have Match Fixing featuring Don Sal Guzmano, who is also under the Cedar Bridge Media. And then we also have the other random podcasts that we support. Wednesday Night Shootin' with Tonya Rodgers and Andrew Swift. Ringside Geeks as well as For the Love of Wrestling, featuring Miss Monroe and her boyfriend, the Queen City Express with Biff Kensington and Ryan his brother Ryan.
The Queen City Express, who is a newest member of Los Ingober No Business podcast.
And right now they're already
he agreed. He agreed the other day. I haven't told everybody else, but you know me as the president and main founder of LIP. I had the final decision. Damn it.
Sure. And let's not forget 2 other podcasts. We have What Happens When on MLW with Conrad Thompson and Bruce Pritchard.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. And the last one the other one was what again?
No. What Happens When is with Bruce Pritchard and Tony Schiavone.
Bruce Pritchard and Tony Schiavone.
No, it's Conrad. Excuse me. Talk there. I just rewound.
We are. Yeah. One. What Happens When?
What Happened When is with Tony Schiavone and Conrad Thompson.
And then you have
Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard,
Conrad Thompson,
and Conrad Thompson.
There you go. Okay, done. Final done. This has been the breakfast special of Shootin' the Breeze for WrestleMania 34.
Yep.
Again, we are people drop like flies, but we soldier on. All of them have other priorities to take care of, so we understand that perfectly. But again, thank you so much for StalwartJester, Chris with 5 zeros, and Tonya Rodgers for dropping by.
Craig with 5 zeros.
Craig, I already said that. Craig with 5
You
zeros.
said Chris.
Oh, Chris, really?
Did he not, Thomas? He said Chris with 5 zeros.
I didn't catch that one because I was in the bathroom, but yeah.
Really? You had to say it.
Oh, I love how Thomas backs me up. Yes, but no. Anyway.
This has been a breakfast special. Hope you guys had fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, I apologize for my lateness. I had to take an emergency and I had to do that. I was almost not able to make it, but I promised myself I had to come. So,
well, you had the reason to, so it was no problem.
You had a legit reason. That's why I asked you.
Yeah,
I was looking for someone to help me in case you couldn't make it.
Yeah, never mind. I made it anyways. After it was cleared, it was everything. But anyways, this has been Shootin' the Breeze. This take on WrestleMania weekend. Hope you guys had fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys have a good WrestleMania experience this coming Sunday.
I get to see it live.
You get to see it live. I get to see it live.
I'm off tomorrow.
I know you're off tomorrow.
I was given a gift
by your boss.
I was not expecting to be off tomorrow.
Ooh, okay.
Remember, I was supposed to work. I've been working 7 days a week for the last 6 months?
6 months, yeah.
Yeah, but if you work the late shift, then that would mean that you might be able to get in just for the end of Lesnar Roman when you got home.
No, I work third shift, so I won't get home till 5 a.m. I don't get home till
after 5 a.m. Like I said, just in time for the end of Lesnar Roman.
Possibly. All right, guys. Next week, Shootin' the Breeze will be on its normal time of 11 a.m. Central. Or 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. And this is like Mister Doctor Senju said, breakfast at WrestleMania. I want to thank all our panelists for being here. Thomas, thank you for coming again.
No problem.
And this is the end, guys. We'll see you all next week. Bye for now.
This has been nice. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.